Chapter 1. Zhao Yun woke up and rubbed her aching forehead. When she opened her eyes, she found herself in an unfamiliar environment. She was lying on a tattered bed covered with straw. Her body was covered with a thin quilt, which had a musty smell. Around her were dilapidated walls that were covered with dust. There was nothing else in the room except for a brick table that was missing half a leg. Zhao Yun's eyes turned, and she wanted to support her body to get up. What the hell is this place? She was a police officer. She chased after a thief on the road and was accidentally hit by a car. When she woke up again, she was already here. Mother, you're awake? Does your head still hurt? At this time, a child walked into the room. He was a boy of 3 or 4 years old. His voice was soft, and Zhao Yun's heart softened. However, this child was thin and his face was sallow. His pair of big eyes were sunken in. It was obvious that he was malnourished for a long time. The clothes on his body were also somewhat tattered and did not fit. It looked like they were made from adult clothes. Was there anyone in the modern world who was so poor that they would make their child look like this? Zhao Yun was stunned. For a moment, she was unable to come back to her senses. Mother? Was this child calling her? Mother, why are you ignoring Daodu? When the child saw that Zhao Yun was not speaking, he was a little scared. Zhao Yun rubbed her forehead and asked uncertainly, You're Daodu? I'm your mother. After Zhao Yun said this, the child's bright black eyes were covered with a layer of mist. He looked at Zhao Yun pitifully. Mother, do you not recognize Daodu? Zhao Yun looked at the child's aggrieved and sad face and her heart could not help but ache. Daodu. Hiss, her head hurt even more. In an instant, another person's memory emerged in Zhao Yun's mind. Zhao Yun knew that this memory did not belong to her. She had indeed transmigrated into this body. Her name was the same as hers, Zhao Yun. The original Zhao Yun went up the mountain to cut firewood. She accidentally tripped and fell, knocked her head, and fainted on the mountain. Fortunately, when the village's hunter Lu Lei went into the mountain, he found Zhao Yun and sent Zhao Yun back. However, the original Zhao Yun was still dead, and the current Zhao Yun's soul crossed over. Mother, you don't want Daodu anymore, right? The baby began to cry sadly. Zhao Yun's heart was also a little more sour. A child who was only a few years old, if he lost his mother, how pitiful would that be? Daodu, mother just had a headache and forgot a lot of things. How can I not want Daodu? Zhao Yun softly coaxed. As she spoke, she hugged the child into her arms. Daodu, don't cry. The child felt the warmth of Zhao Yun's body and immediately stopped crying. The child's face was still stained with sparkling and translucent tears. Zhao Yun gently wiped away the tears on the child's face. At this time, there was a sound of footsteps outside the door. Yun, girl, are you home? The voice of an old woman sounded outside. Zhao Yun knew from the original owner's memory that this person was her grandmother, Hu Chunhua. Chapter 2. Hearing Hu Chunhua's voice, Daodu's delicate little face also became serious and his brows furrowed. Mother, great-grandmother is here again. She must be looking for trouble with you. Let's not go out. Daodu said to Zhao Yun in a childish voice. Zhao Yun sighed. This body's original owner had gotten pregnant before marriage. In ancient times, this was a shameful thing. The Zhao family also felt that Zhao Yun had lost face in the village because of her pregnancy before marriage. If Li Zheng hadn't come out and protected Zhao Yun would have been drowned in a pig cage. Although her life was saved, Zhao Yun was still kicked out of the Zhao family. The house they were living in now was the Zhao family's old house. After the Zhao family left Zhao Yun here, they didn't care about her. If it weren't for the kind neighbors who helped the mother and daughter, they might have starved to death. Hu Chunhua had always disliked Zhao Yun, and her son. Whenever she saw them, she would speak ill of them. Now that she suddenly spoke in such an amiable voice, what kind of case was she trying to sell? Just when Zhao Yun was in a daze, the door was pushed open with a creak. The person who walked in was Zhao Yun's grandmother, Hu Chunhua. Behind her was her eldest aunt, Feng Zhangxia, and second aunt, Li Chuiying. Daoda's small body stood in front of Zhao Yun, as if he wanted to protect Zhao Yun, He stomped on the people who came in and asked angrily, "What are you doing here? Don't bully my mother," Daoda said in a childish voice. How could such a big child have the ability to protect others? However, it made Zhao Yun's heart feel warm. Zhao Yun looked up and coldly sized up the people who came in. She asked, "What are you doing here?" Hu Chunhua wasn't angry at Zhao Yun's unfriendly tone. Instead, she smiled and said to Zhao Yun, "Look at you, child. Of course I'm here to see you and your son. I even brought something for you." With that, Hu Chunhua said something to Li Chuiying. Li Chuiying brought a basket forward. There was some rice, flour, eggs, and a gene of pork in it. Zhao Yun's brows wrinkled. As the saying goes, one who is unaccountably solicitous for no reason. She didn't think that Hu Chunhua would suddenly have a conscience. Must have had some others it's you. You'd better take it back. It's also good for the family, right? Why don't you know what's good for you? Li Chuiying couldn't stand it anymore and jumped out to reprimand her. Zhao Yun sneered, "Second auntie, what are you talking about? What do you mean by I don't know what's good for me? Your grandmother gave you these things because she cares about you. You have to accept them." Zhao Yun's sneer became more intense. She didn't say anything and just stared at these people. She wanted to see what they were up to. Actually, I'm here today to discuss something with you. You're a descendant of our Zhao family. No matter what mistakes you've made, you're still a member of our Zhao family. So, I have to make plans for you. Hu Chunhua said a lot of things. She was playing the emotional card for Zhao Yun. Grandma, if you have something to say, just say it. There's no need to say more. Zhao Yun was a little impatient. Chapter 3. Zhao Yun's eyes were instantly filled with a layer of coldness, and the corners of her lips curled into a sneer. She was wondering why Hu Chunhua had come over to curry favor for no reason. So this was what she had in mind. Without waiting for Hu Chunhua to continue persuading her, Zhao Yun coldly rejected her. "No way." As she spoke, Zhao Yun began to chase Hu Chunhua and the others out. Hu Chunhua immediately became anxious and couldn't help but scold, "You wretched girl, are you trying to anger me to death? Aren't I doing this for your own good? Look, you're an unmarried girl with a child by your side. Do you know how many people are gossiping about you? Even our old Zhao family is being laughed at by so many people. If we give Daodu away, you're still young and can still find a husband." Li Chuiying chimed in from behind, "That's right, Yun. Your grandmother is doing this for your own good. If we give Daodu away to a wealthy family, he'll be able to enjoy life there. When he becomes the young master of that family, he'll be served lavishly every day. It's not like we're selling Daodu away." Zhao Yun felt disgusted by the way the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law echoed each other. "Second aunt, since that's the case, why don't you send your Yang away to enjoy life? My Daodu and I are used to living a hard life." "We don't need that," Zhao Yun replied coldly. The Yang that Zhao Yun was referring to was Li Chuiying's precious eldest grandson, who was also the child of Zhao Yun's eldest cousin brother. He was about the same age as Daodu. Li Chuiying didn't know what to say to Zhao Yun for a moment. When did this last become so eloquent? Li Chuiying angrily complained to Hu Chunhua, "Mother, look, this damned girl doesn't know what's good for her." Hu Chunhua narrowed her eyes, and a glint flashed through her small eyes. She was thinking about how to persuade Zhao Yun. He hadn't noticed it before, but now he had calmed down. He increasingly felt that the Zhao Yuner in front of him was like a different person. In the past, he had a soft personality. How would he dare to go against them? This time, he actually turned the sky upside down and quarreled with the elders. Mother, if she doesn't listen when we talk nicely, then we'll snatch her. Just grab that little bastard. Li Chuiying was also impatient, and she couldn't go on with Zhao Yuner. Since Zhao Yuner refused to listen to reason, then don't blame them for using force. Speaking of snatching the child, Daodu hid behind Zhao Yuner in fear. His small body couldn't help but tremble because of fear. Zhao Yuner's eyes became sharper and more vigilant. She shielded Daodu. Hua Chunhua also felt that they couldn't continue to waste time like this, so she nodded. They had to take this child back. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law looked at each other. They were ready to take action. There were 3 of them, and Zhao Yuner was alone. It was naturally easy to snatch the child. However, Hua Chunhua and the others didn't expect Zhao Yuner to suddenly fly into a rage. They didn't know if it was because she was protective of her child, but her skills were very good. In a short while, she knocked them to the ground. Hua Chunhua was old. How could she withstand the fall? She sat on the ground and began to shout in pain. Chapter 4. Feng Zhangxia was at the back. When she saw how powerful Zhao Yuner was, she didn't dare to step forward. However, she was also afraid that Hua Chunhua would scold her for not helping. Thus, she took advantage of the chaos and pretended to fall. The 3 of them sat awkwardly on the ground in Zhao Yuner's house. Zhao Yuner stood in front of them and said coldly, "I'll say this again. Don't even think about giving my Daodu away. As long as I'm here, don't even think about taking Daodu away. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." Zhao Yuner's gaze was sharp, and the fierceness in her body intimidated Hua Chunhua's mother-in-law and daughter-in-law for a moment. After being defeated by Zhao Yuner, they didn't dare to act rashly. Now, scram, Zhao Yuner spat out these few words. There was no trace of politeness to speak of. Li Chuiying glared at Zhao Yuner unwillingly. However, she couldn't beat this damned girl at all. Feng Zhangxia had already gotten up and helped Hua Chunhua up from the ground. "Mother, let's go back first. We'll think of something later." Hua Chunhua couldn't bear to be taken advantage of. She was helpless at the moment. However, she agreed with Li Chuiying's words. The mother-in-law and daughter-in-law left Zhao Yuner's house in a sorry state. Zhao Yuner stroked her chest and heaved a sigh of relief. Only then did she calm down. When she turned around, Daodu was already staring at her with his mouth agape. Zhao Yuner thought that her ferocity had scared Daodu. She couldn't help it. She just couldn't hold it in. So much so that she forgot that Daodu was still watching from the side. She was a police officer in her previous life. Needless to say, she was skilled. Not to mention a few women, even if a few strong men came, they would not be a match for him. Back then, the training in the army was not for nothing. The corner of Zhao Yuner's mouth pulled out a smile, and she gently said to Daodu, "Daodu, what's wrong? Are you scared by mother?" Zhao Yuner felt a little guilty. No matter what the grudges between the adults were, she couldn't let a child see such a bloody and cruel scene. To Zhao Yuner's surprise, Daodu shook his head and revealed a row of canine teeth. "No, mother, Daodu just thought that mother was amazing just now. You beat the people who bullied us away. Will mother still be like this in the future?" The little fellow seemed to like her fierceness. However, Zhao Yuner knew that the 2 of them were used to being bullied. Zhao Yuner had never resisted like today, so Daodu also suffered a lot of bullying and grievances. Taking the little boy into her arms, Zhao Yuner said softly, "Of course, Daodu. Don't worry, with mother here in the future, no one will bully us anymore. Mother will beat them to a pulp." Daodu was amused by Zhao Yuner and giggled. "Mother, Daodu likes mother like this. Mother also likes Daodu. Then mother won't give Daodu away in the future," right? The little boy was a little worried because of what Chunhua and the others said. Zhao Yun'er patted Daodu's head. Of course not, no one can take Daodu away from mother. Daodu will never leave mother. On this side, while Zhao Yun'er and Daodu were deeply affectionate, Chunhua and her daughter-in-law were not in such a good mood. Especially Li Chuiying. Chapter 5. Chunhua was also angry, and Li Chuiying's words made her even angrier. That wretched girl. I've been too polite to her. I have to teach her a lesson. But mother, we don't know where that girl got her skills from. We can't beat her. How did we get that bastard here? Li Chuiying asked. Of course we have to think of a way. Can't you use your brain and think about it? Chunhua said. Li Chuiying curled her lips and began to think hard. The reason why the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law were so persistent was that Daodu was too valuable to them. There was a rich family in the town. The rich old man couldn't give birth to a son, so he went to the various villages to look for boys. If they were sent to him to be his son, he would directly give him 200 taels of silver and some other benefits. In ancient times, 200 taels of silver was not a small amount. It was enough to buy a lot of things. 1 mu of land was only 7 or 8 taels of silver. However, the people in the countryside valued boys over girls, and the idea of boys carrying on the family line was very serious. Unless the family really couldn't survive, otherwise, they would never sell or give away the boys at home. After Chunhua's mother-in-law and daughter-in-law heard about this matter, they thought about the 200 taels of silver and started to have designs on Daodu. Mother, let third brother's wife go later. That girl listens to third brother's wife the most. If she still doesn't agree, let third brother break that wretched girl's legs. I don't believe that she has the ability to go against her parents. Li Chuiying suddenly thought of this idea and said excitedly. The saliva in her mouth splashed and splashed on Feng Zhangxia's face. Feng Zhangxia couldn't help but feel nauseous. Her second sister-in-law's saliva was so strong and smelly that she wanted to vomit just by smelling it. Chunhua's eyes lit up when she heard Li Chuiying's words. She thought that Li Chuiying's idea was good. Let's go back quickly and talk to third brother and his wife. Zhao Yun'er's forehead still had some pain. After using all her strength, her whole body also seemed to be a little sore. In the end, it was because the original owner's body was too weak. In the past few years, the mother and daughter had not eaten many full meals. Their nutrition could not keep up, so how could their bodies be well? Before, there was no other way. The original owner was a girl with a baby behind her. She couldn't do anything. But now that she had transmigrated, things were different. From now on, she couldn't let Daodu continue to starve with her. She had to take good care of her body. Otherwise, she wouldn't have enough strength to fight. Goo, Daodu's stomach growled. Daodu raised his head and looked at Zhao Yun'er in embarrassment before rubbing his stomach. Daodu must be hungry. Mother will go and cook, Zhao Yun said. Mother, Daodu will help you with the fire. The baby obediently followed over. Zhao Yun'er followed the original owner's memories to the kitchen. Although it was called a kitchen, it was just a simple shed built with a few pieces of wood. One side of it was attached to her house. There was a simple stove in the shed. When they first moved to this house, they didn't have a stove. It was the village's hunter, Lu Lei, who helped build it. Chapter 6. Zhao Yun knew that Lu Lei was interested in her. She also felt that Lu Lei was a good person. It was just that she was dragging a baby behind her. The reason why she didn't want to be with Lu Lei was because she didn't want to wrong Daodu. Secondly, she didn't want to compromise. Thirdly, Lu Lei was such a good person. He would naturally be able to find a girl who would treat him better. Zhao Yun went to the front of the stove. In addition to a cold pot, there were only a few broken bowls on the stove, as well as oil jars and salt jars that had already reached the bottom. As for food, there was only a little bit of flour left. She estimated that after 2 more meals, there would be nothing left to eat. Zhao Yun secretly sighed in her heart. No matter what, she had to earn money and find food in the shortest time possible. She couldn't let Dao starve. Although there was some pressure, for a modern person from the 21st century, she didn't believe that she couldn't do it with her own hands and brain. "Mother, what are we eating for lunch?" Dao came over and asked in a childish voice. Perhaps he was really hungry and wanted to eat something. "Mother will make noodles for Dao for lunch, okay?" Dao nodded heavily. When he smiled, 2 shallow dimples appeared on his face. "Okay, Dao will eat whatever mother makes." Zhao Yun patted Dao's head. "Dao, be good." There was only a little flour. Other than making noodles, she really couldn't think of anything else to make. After filling a bowl with flour, Zhao Yun began to roll out the noodles. Speaking of which, her cooking skills weren't bad. It was difficult for women who were police officers to get married. In her previous life, her appearance was also average. Her mother was afraid that she wouldn't be able to get married, so she forced her to practice her cooking skills. She said that to grasp a man's heart, she had to grasp a man's taste. What she lacked in appearance and personality, she could make up for with her cooking skills. As time went by, it was hard for her culinary skills not to improve. After rolling out the noodles, Zhao Yun'er saw some vegetables planted in the corner of the room. She pulled a handful of them and put them into the noodles to cook. When Dao saw that Zhao Yun was done with her work, he became angry. His movements were very skillful, and the sound of burning wood could be heard from the stove. It was said that children from poor families matured early, and it was true. Dao was still so young. Even now, he was still a little emperor who was pampered by his family. How could he do so many things? Speaking of which, Dao was only 3 years old. Such a young child, yet he was so sensible that Zhao Yun'er felt sorry for him. When the pot was heated up, Zhao Yun'er poured some oil into the pot and poured more than half of the remaining oil. After the oil heated up, it emitted a fragrant aroma. The mother and daughter immediately swallowed their saliva. The little guy's eyes glanced at the pot from time to time. It seemed that he was very hungry. When the oil was heated up, she added some water. After the water boiled, she put in the noodles. After a while, the noodles were cooked. When it was almost ready, Zhao Yun'er put in the cabbage. After it was cooked, she began to ladle out the noodles. After each person had a big bowl, she brought it into the room and placed it on the table. She waited for it to cool down before eating. At this time, a man's rough voice came from outside the door. "Yun'er," it was Lu Lei. Chapter 7. Lu Lei was wearing a gray shirt. He was tall and sturdy, and his skin was a little dark. However, his healthy complexion gave off a sense of strength. His facial features were not bad. In modern times, a muscular man like him would probably be infatuated with many girls. Lu Lei saw Zhao Yun sizing him up, and his cheeks couldn't help but turn red. "Yun-er." Lu Lei called out softly, reminding Zhao Yun-er. Zhao Yun came back to her senses. Facing Lu Lei's fascinated gaze, she felt a little embarrassed. Thus, she said, "Brother Lei, are you here for something?" Lu Lei nodded. "Yes, I went into the mountains today. I was lucky and encountered a lot of prey. Yun-er, I brought this pheasant to you. You stewed some soup for yourself and Dao to nourish their bodies." In ancient times, hunters like Lu Lei relied on selling prey to make a living. Their village was called Shui Lan Village, and it was next to a large mountain. Usually, there were many wild beasts on the mountain, and it was very dangerous. Other than people like Lu Lei who hunted for a living, very few people would go up the mountain. Even if they went up the mountain, they would only go around the foot of the mountain to chop some firewood. They wouldn't go into the mountain. Thus, the prey on the mountain could be sold for a good price. Looking at the pheasant in Lu Lei's hand, it was probably worth a few dozen copper coins. It wasn't a small amount in the countryside. Thus, Zhao Yun refused. Brother Lei, you can sell this pheasant to the town later. Daodu and I don't need it. Yun, it's okay. A few dozen copper coins won't make a difference. The wound on your forehead hasn't healed yet, so you need to nourish it well. Daodu is still young, and he's still growing. Don't be so polite with me. Since I'm giving it to you, I'm not thinking of taking it back. Lu Lei said very seriously. Zhao Yun also knew that Lu Lei said these words from the bottom of his heart. Zhao Yun thought about it. Lu Lei was right. Needless to say, Daodu's body was still growing, so he needed to replenish his nutrients. She will keep this pheasant for now. She will remember Lu Lei's kindness. When she makes money in the future, she will repay Lu Lei's kindness. Okay, Brother Lei, I'll accept it. Thank you. Zhao Yun smiled at Lu Lei. The shallow dimples at the corner of her mouth were very beautiful. Lu Lei saw the brilliant smile on Zhao Yun's face, and her beautiful eyes curved into crescent moons. Zhao Yun was 18 years old today. She was considered the most beautiful girl in the entire village. Her facial features were very delicate and pretty. If it wasn't for the fact that he was so skinny that his skin was a little sallow, he would be even more charming. Therefore, she looked very beautiful when she smiled. Lu Lei felt that his heart was beating faster, and his face was flushed red with embarrassment. He stuttered a little as he replied, You're welcome, Brother Lei. Are you thirsty? Do you want to come in for a drink? Zhao Yun invited him. There's no need, Yun. If a man like me enters your house, you'll be gossiped about. Lu Lei hurriedly refused. In this village, there were many gossipy old women. If people knew that he entered Zhao Yun's house, who knew what kind of things he would be said about him? He didn't care. A man like him was thick-skinned, so it wasn't a big deal to be scolded. However, Zhao Yun was different. Chapter 8. Zhao Yun was stunned. She didn't expect a man like Lu Lei to be so considerate and think so much for her. Brother Lei Zi, wait for a while. I'll get a bowl of water, Zhao Yun said. As Zhao Yun spoke, Lu Lei saw the thin figure turn and enter the dilapidated house. After a while, she came out with a big bowl of cold water. Brother Lei Zi, here. Zhao Yun smiled and handed it to Lu Lei. Lu Lei took it and drank it in 2 or 3 mouthfuls. After wiping the water from the corner of his mouth, he smiled at Zhao Yun. At this moment, his heart was filled with happiness that he had never felt before. Not far away, Qin Hailan, who came back from picking vegetables in the vegetable garden, saw this scene and made a hissing sound. Hey, are the two of you together? Look at you, your relationship is quite good. From afar, you look very compatible. Zhao Yun frowned and was a little unhappy. She glared at Qin Hailan. Qin Hailan was only in her 30s and was famous in the village for being a gossipy woman. She loved to gossip, and all the bad things were spread by her big mouth. She lived not far from Zhao Yun and could be considered a neighbor. When she had nothing to do, she liked to come over to find trouble and bully Zhao Yun. She also knew that Zhao Yun didn't have her family to protect her now. Even if she was bullied, no one would come forward to help her. If it was the Zhao Yun of the past, she might not say anything. But now, Zhao Yun couldn't stand being bullied. Zhao Yun replied to Qin Hailan in a cold voice, Auntie, you have to be responsible for what you say. There's nothing between me and Brother Lei Zi. You're talking nonsense. If I hear any rumors in the village, I won't let you off easily. Qin Hailan was stunned. She didn't expect that Zhao Yun, who usually listened to her words, would know how to resist at this time. What the hell? Lu Lei hurriedly added, That's right, Auntie. You can't talk nonsense. Yun and I are innocent. If your words are heard by the people in the village, won't it just ruin Yun's reputation? Qin Hailan was not a kind person either. Seeing Lu Lei and Zhao Yun criticizing her, she spat. What are you two pretending for? You've been together for a long time. Do you think that the villagers won't know if I don't tell them? Zhao Yun, why else would I call you cheap? Didn't you hook up with a wild man and give birth to a little bastard? Now you're seducing Lu Lei. And Lu Lei, you really don't have any guts. If you like her, just marry her. Why are you being so hesitant? Are you still a man? I think you two adulterers are a good match for each other. Qin Hailan screamed at the top of her voice, which made Zhao Yun even more disgusted. And her screaming had the intention of letting the other neighbors come over to watch the show. A few people had already surrounded Zhao Yun's house. At this moment, Daodu heard the noise and came out of the house. When he heard Qin Hailan's words, he pounced on Qin Hailan angrily. I won't allow you to talk about my mother. I'm not a little bastard. Chapter 9. Zhao Yun's heart tightened. She hurriedly ran over and picked up Daodu from the ground. Then, she checked the injuries on Daodu's body. The skin on Daodu's knees and hands had been scraped, and blood was seeping out. Daodu, does it hurt? How are you feeling? Zhao Yun asked worriedly. Daodu shook his head. His black, gem-like eyes were misty. He bit his lower lip and said, Mother, it doesn't hurt. Daodu doesn't hurt. Zhao Yun knew that Daodu just didn't want her to worry. It was because of this that her heart ached even more. Zhao Yun stood up immediately. Daodu, Mother will avenge you. Damn it, if the tiger didn't show its might, she would be treated as Hello Kitty. Zhao Yun glared at Qin Hailan as if her eyes were about to spit fire. Being stared at by Zhao Yun like this, Qin Hailan felt a little scared for a moment. At this moment, some villagers came over. How can you bear to hit a child like this? Zhao Yun questioned. That little bastard hit me first. Don't tell me I can't fight back. Zhao Yun sneered. So you're saying that you're going to argue with a 3-year-old child? You're the one who scolded him first, aren't you? Qin Hailan's anger was immediately suppressed by Zhao Yun. However, she was still unwilling to give up. I'm telling the truth. Why can't I say it? If you don't want others to say it, then don't do it yourself. There are so many people in the village. Why don't I scold you instead of others? You're twisting words and forcing logic. Zhao Yun didn't want to be polite with Mulan. This kind of person deserved to be taught a lesson. She should give her a good beating and teach her a lesson. Naturally, she would be obedient. Therefore, Zhao Yun slapped Qin Hailan's face. Suddenly, a palm print appeared on Qin Hailan's face. The corner of his mouth was bleeding from Zhao Yun's slap. Zhao Yun had indeed used all of her strength in that slap. In the future, if I hear you calling me a slut, calling my son a bastard, or spreading rumors about me, I'll beat you up every time I see you. Zhao Yun warned fiercely. She knew that in this era, if she wasn't strong enough, she would only be bullied. Qin Hailan was stunned by Zhao Yun. It took her a while to react. You dare to hit me, I will fight with you. Qin Hailan said, rushing towards Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun turned sideways and dodged. When Qin Hailan dodged to the front, she kicked Qin Hailan's butt again. Qin Hailan fell to the ground all of a sudden and fell flat on her face. The onlookers were almost stunned. Was this really Zhao Yun? When did this woman, who was usually gentle and weak, become so tough? It was so easy for her to deal with Qin Hailan. Ouch, it's so painful. Murder. Murder. Zhao Yun killed someone. Qin Hailan began to shout. At this time, some villagers who were watching the scene couldn't help but criticize Zhao Yun. Little girl Yun, aren't you going a bit too far by doing this? Look at how badly you've hurt him. The one who said this was an old woman who usually liked to gossip. She joined Qin Hailan in criticizing Zhao Yun'er. Chapter 10. What's so interesting about that? I'm just telling the truth. Huh, the truth? I'm just giving her an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Why don't you talk about how badly my Daoda was hurt? He's only 3 years old. As Zhao Yun'er spoke, she pulled Daoda to the front of the onlooking villagers. The injuries on Daoda's body were a little shocking. How could they do such a thing to a child and injure him to this extent? Everyone sympathized with the weak, and these villagers were naturally the same. Seeing that Daoda was seriously injured, they all felt sorry for this poor child. Sigh, how could she hurt a child? Is she still human? That's right, no matter what an adult does, she can't be calculative with a child. And he's only 3 years old. If his injuries were more serious, wouldn't he lose his life as well? Is this even something a human would do? More and more people were criticizing Qin Hailan. The old woman, who was originally defending Qin Hailan, did not know what to say anymore. Qin Hailan was taught a lesson by Zhao Yun'er. In the eyes of these villagers, Qin Hailan deserved it. If someone else bullied their child like this, wouldn't they fight with their lives on the line? Zhao Yun was also very grateful for the words of these villagers. Holding Daoda's hand, she bowed to the crowd and said, "Thank you for speaking up for justice. We don't like to cause trouble, but if someone comes to bully us, I'm not someone to be trifled with." Today, Qin Hailan's fate was a warning to the crowd. It could also be considered as letting these people know how powerful she was. When today's matter spread, Zhao Yun predicted that she might become famous in the village. After watching the show, the villagers left one after another. Qin Hailan was also helped back by others. Zhao Yun'er's door was suddenly quiet. Lu Lei stood at the side, feeling a little complicated. When he looked at Zhao Yun'er, there was a little more heartache in his eyes. Zhao Yun'er seemed to have suddenly changed into a different person. He knew that it was all because of reality. If she wasn't strong enough, she wouldn't have allowed Daoda to suffer such grievances today. Qin Hailan might even spread rumors about the two of them. Instead, he taught Qin Hailan a lesson, and Qin Hailan behaved herself. "Yun'er." Lu Lei called out to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er raised her eyes, and the two people's eyes met. "Brother Lei Zi, what's wrong?" Zhao Yun'er asked. "Yun'er, Lu Lei really wanted to ask if Zhao Yun'er was willing to marry him. After marrying him, he would definitely do his best to protect the two of them. He would not let them suffer any grievances, nor would he let them go hungry." But when the words were at the tip of his tongue and he looked into Zhao Yun'er's eyes, he suddenly choked on his words and couldn't say anything. "Brother Lei Zi, what about me?" Zhao Yun'er asked in confusion. Lu Lei's lips curled into a smile. In the end, he still didn't have the courage to say it. "Nothing, I just wanted to say that you should quickly help Daoda into the house and wipe Daoda's wound." "I'm a man. I won't go in." Zhao Yun'er nodded. "Okay, Brother Lei Zi, then you should go back. Be careful on the road. Also, thank you for the pheasant." Chapter 11. Zhao Yun'er carried Daoda into the house. Seeing Daoda's injuries, Zhao Yun'er's heart ached. She hurriedly found a piece of cloth and got some hot water from the pot on the stove. She gently wiped Daoda's injured arm. Daoda's tender arm and leg had large scrapes. Zhao Yun wiped away the blood around the wound. It was a pity that there was no iodine in ancient times. Zhao Yun was worried that such a heavy wound would become inflamed. She raised Daoda's little hand and blew on it. Zhao Yun'er asked, "Daoda, does it hurt a lot?" Daoda shook his head. "Mother, don't worry about me. It doesn't hurt. Daoda is fine." "Silly child, how could it not hurt? Mother will blow on it for you." Daoda's little face had traces of tears, but he was smiling happily. "Daoda, look at your scrapes. how can you still smile? Mother, it's because Daodu is happy. Daodu likes it when mother scolds people. This way, no one will dare to bully us. Mother wasn't like this before. Daodu said in a childish voice. Zhao Yun felt sad when she heard this. If she was as weak as the original owner, she would have been bullied to death today. Daodu would have suffered for nothing. Of course. Mother will protect Daodu well. Come, Daodu, you must be hungry. Mother will feed you. Zhao Yun said as she brought over the cold noodles from the table. Mother, you eat too. Daodu can eat by himself. Daodu said with a serious face. Looking at Daodu's tender little face, Zhao Yun's heart warmed. Heavens, how can there be such a sensible child? If this was the 21st century, it would be impossible to find such a person, right? In her previous life, she was an old leftover woman. She did not even have a man, let alone a child. However, she was also very fond of children. In this life, Daodu was such a sensible child. It could be said that the heavens had given her a gift. It's okay, Daodu should finish eating first, then mother will eat. Mother isn't hungry anyway. Daodu's hand is injured, so mother wants to feed him. Dodo didn't refuse again. She smiled happily, and the corners of her mouth curved into a brilliant smile. Mother, the noodles you made today are really delicious. Really? Daodu has never tasted such delicious noodles before. Zhao Yun'er looked at the noodles with a few cabbage strands in the bowl. In fact, it was already very vegetarian. It was just a few more drops of oil than usual. Daodu, trust me, I'll make even better food for you later. Look, your Uncle Lu even sent us a chicken. Mother will make chicken soup for you to drink tonight. Daodu's smile became even brighter. After lunch, Zhao Yun'er started to get busy at home. Now that the four walls of the house were bare, it wouldn't do. She had to decorate the house. This bed was actually made of wood and mud bricks. Not to mention a quilt, it didn't even have a cushion. It could only be covered with a layer of straw and covered with a thin, moldy quilt. Zhao Yun'er carried the blanket out. She couldn't stand the moldy smell. The house was so damp because the roof was leaking in several places. It was fine on normal days, but when it rained, the roof would leak in. Mother. Daodu saw Zhao Yun'er come out and stuck to Zhao Yun'er. Chapter 12. Mother, Daodu likes to follow you. Zhao Yun'er smiled helplessly. Okay, then Daodu will follow me. Zhao Yun'er turned around and went back into the house. She took out everything that could be taken out to dry. There was really too little stuff in the house. After tidying up, Zhao Yun'er began to think about how to earn money, not just to fill her and Daodu's stomachs. Not only did the food in the house run out, but the bedding and furniture also had to be replaced. In addition, this rundown house was simply not suitable for living. She also had to spend money to build a new house. Daodu was so young, he couldn't suffer too much with her. But how could she earn money? Zhao Yun thought about it carefully. She didn't have an acre of land, and she didn't have any amazing skills. If she wanted to earn money in the shortest time possible, it seemed that she had to go to the mountain behind the house and try her luck. There were many plants and animals on the mountain, perhaps she could find some treasures. She should do it. Zhao Yun thought and went into the house. She took a sickle and a kitchen knife, then carried a basket and prepared to go up the mountain. When Daodu saw this, he asked, Mother, where are you going? Mother wants to go into the mountain, like your Uncle Lu, to find delicious food for you. Later, I can exchange it for money, and then I can buy more good things for Daodu. The world of children was simple. When Daodu heard Zhao Yun say this, he quickly nodded in response. Okay, Mother, Daodu also wants to go. Zhao Yun looked at Daodu's injuries and said, Daodu, you can't go. Stay at home. Daodu looked at Zhao Yun'er pitifully. But Mother. Daodu just wants to go with us. When Zhao Yuner saw Daodu like this, her heart softened. She thought that it was not safe to leave Daodu alone at home. Hua Chunhua and the others still wanted to give Daodu away. Who knew if they would snatch Daodu away when she was not at home? On the contrary, it would be safer to have Daodu by his side. Alright, then Daodu will go up the mountain with mother, but he might be very tired. Is Daodu afraid of being tired? Don't be afraid, mother, Daodu is not afraid of being tired. Alright, let's go. Zhao Yuner greeted him and held Daodu's hand as they walked up the mountain together. The road at the foot of the mountain was relatively easy to walk on. Usually, there were many people who went into the mountain to cut firewood. The higher they went, the more difficult it was to walk. It was already spring, and the vegetation on the mountain was beginning to flourish. Zhao Yuner paid attention to the road under her feet as she walked. There were many thorny plants in the bushes, and if she was not careful, she might cut her leg. At the beginning, Zhao Yuner was still holding Daodu's hand. Later, she directly let Daodu sit in the basket on her back. Mother, are you tired? Daodu can walk by himself. Daodu said in a childish voice. His voice was filled with heartache. I'm not tired. Daodu is so light, how can mother be tired? Zhao Yuner said. However, the body of the original owner was too weak. When climbing the mountain, she was indeed a bit out of breath. It could not be compared to her previous life. Mother. Daodu suddenly wanted to say something. What is it, Daodu? Chapter 13. Daodu still remembered what Mulan had said today. Children were more sensitive. Zhao Yun didn't know how to reply to Daodu's question. Just who was Daodu's father? Zhao Yun searched through the memories of the original owner of this body, but she didn't have any recollection of it. Perhaps it was because the original owner of this body felt humiliated, so she chose to forget about it. I don't know about your father either. But don't worry, Daodu. I'll find you a tall, handsome, and rich father in the future, all right? Daodu thought about it before replying solemnly, all right. Everyone else has a father. Daodu also wants one. Mother, you have to find Daodu a father as soon as possible. Zhao Yun rubbed her forehead, feeling a bit pressured. It was all her fault. She had to think of ways to earn money and find a father for Daodu. Where was she going to find a tall, handsome, and rich father? All right. I'll find you a father as soon as possible. Zhao Yun squeezed out a smile. However, she was cursing Daodu's father inside. Just who was that scum? He ran off after sowing his seed, leaving the original owner and Daodu to suffer. It was best if she didn't run into a man like that. Otherwise, she would definitely teach him a lesson. Naturally, she wouldn't let Daodu reunite with him either. Just after Zhao Yi cursed, in a courtyard in the capital, a handsome man sneezed several times in a row. His subordinate couldn't help but say, Gongzi, these days the weather is still relatively cold. At night, cover yourself with a quilt. Don't catch a cold. The handsome man raised an eyebrow slightly, I know. Mo Yen, you're becoming more and more naggy. You're just like a housewife. Zhao Yun carried Daodu into the mountains. After walking for a while, they had some gains. There weren't many other things in this mountain, but there were still a lot of wild vegetables. Other than a rundown house, there was not a single piece of land in the house. They could only casually plant some seeds in the corner of the house and grow some small vegetables. These wild vegetables were good for stir-frying or spooning. In modern times, they couldn't be bought with money. However, Zhao Yuner discovered that she was not as skilled as Lu Lei to get some game. The pheasants and rabbits in the mountains ran very fast. Without a bow and arrow, it was impossible to catch them. Mother, look, there's a bird's nest on the tree. Daodu raised his head and looked at the tree, seemingly very happy. Children like small animals, especially birds. Mother, there are little birds flying out. Hearing Daodu's childish voice, Zhao Yun also looked up at the tree and saw a pigeon's nest. The pigeon had been alarmed by Zhao Yun and Daodu, so it immediately flew out of the nest. Zhao Yun suddenly thought of something. She put down Daodu and said to Daodu, "Daodu, mother will go to the tree. I'll get some bird eggs for you." Pigeon eggs were similar to chicken eggs. They tasted quite good when cooked or stir-fried. Now that Zhao Yun and Daodu could not eat chicken eggs, they were a rare thing in the countryside. They were usually saved up to exchange for silver or to nourish their bodies. Okay. Daodu smiled resplendently. "Mother, be careful when you climb the tree. Don't fall." Chapter 14. As Zhao Yun spoke, she nimbly climbed up the tree. In her previous life, as a police officer, her skills were naturally good. Although it was a little bad for her to transmigrate into Zhao Yun's body, she still remembered the skills of climbing trees. Zhao Yun climbed to the top of the tree in a short while, like a monkey. She saw 7 or 8 pigeon eggs lying in the pigeon nest. Zhao Yun carefully took out the pigeon eggs and put them in her pocket. When she was about to climb down the tree, she looked up and saw a huge beehive hidden in the middle of the trees. She could still hear the sound of bees inside. Zhao Yun's movements were even more gentle. These bees should not be disturbed. If she was stung by a bee, her body would definitely swell up. If it was a large hornet, her life might be in danger. After Zhao Yun carefully climbed down the tree, she held the pigeon eggs in her pocket in front of Daodu and smiled. "Daodu, look, these are the pigeon eggs that mother made." Daodu looked at Zhao Yun with eyes full of worship. "Mother, you are amazing." Daodu's mother is of course amazing. Let's go to other places and see if there are any pigeon nests. Mother will bring some back. NN. The mother and son walked through the forest, not afraid of danger. The reason why no one came to this mountain was because there were indeed some wild beasts. Another reason was that there were rumors that there were man-eating demons deep in the mountains. Therefore, no villagers dared to enter the mountains. It was also because of this that some of the wild resources in the mountains were not touched. Along the way, Zhao Yun saw a lot of pigeon nests. There were a total of 40 to 50 pigeon eggs and 3 pigeons. These pigeons were similar to chickens. When the time comes, they could be stewed into soup for Daodu to nourish his body. At the same time, Zhao Yun also discovered that there were a lot of beehives in the mountains. Not far away, one could find one on a tree branch. If there were bees in the beehive, then there would also be honey. In this day and age, honey was definitely a good thing. If she could get some honey from these beehives and sell it, it would be a good way to make money. However, she was in a hurry to go up the mountain today and did not prepare anything. It was unrealistic to want to get honey back. She could only wait for the next time she went into the mountains and bring all the necessary tools. Only then could she get the honey from the beehives. Today's harvest was quite good. Zhao Yun said to Daodu, "Daodu, let's go." "Yes, mother." "Daodu, come down and walk by yourself." Mother is tired of carrying Daodu. "Silly child, didn't I said I'm tired?" "But mother, your forehead is sweating." Daodu will help mother wipe it off. At the same time, Daodu raised his little hand and used his sleeve to wipe away the beads of sweat on Zhao Yun's forehead. Seeing Daodu's sensible face, Zhao Yun couldn't help but smile. She kissed Daodu's cheek heavily. "Thank you, Daodu." Chapter 15. These people were Zhao Yun's parents, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao, as well as her older sister, Zhao Ping. In the original owner's memories, her parents were quite good to her, but their temperaments were a bit soft. Especially the original owner's father, who was a bit blindly filial and listened to Hua Chuanhua's words. If it weren't for the original owner's parents' temperament being a bit soft, the original owner wouldn't have had such a hard time these past few years. Nyangqin, its grandmother, grandfather, and aunt. Daodu said in a childish voice. I don't know why your grandmother, grandfather, and grandfather are looking for us. Zhao Yun's mouth was muttering, but her heart had a bad premonition. When Zhao Yun walked over, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao stepped forward and said to Zhao Yun, with a smile, you're back? Why weren't you home just now? Where did you go? Without waiting for Zhao Yun to speak, Zhao Ping's sharp eyes saw that Zhao Yun's basket was filled with good things. A somewhat shrill voice called out, Nyangqin, she must have gone up the mountain, there are pigeons and pigeon eggs in the basket. Zhao Yun glanced at Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was only 19 years old, not much older than Zhao Yun. Although they were born from the same mother, Zhao Ping had a birthmark on her face, which affected her overall beauty, so she couldn't find a good marriage partner and still stayed at home at such an old age. In ancient times, a 19-year-old girl was an old girl. If she stayed at home, people would gossip. Zhao Ping and Zhao Yun were not on good terms since they were young. She was picky and didn't like Zhao Yun, but she was close to the other cousins. When the original owner got pregnant before marriage, she made a lot of sarcastic remarks in front of the original owner's parents. Zhao Ping also contributed a lot to the original owner's suffering these past few years. Big sister, I'm going up the mountain. What does it have to do with you? Am I bothering you? Is it necessary for you to shout so loudly in front of father and mother? Zhao Yun replied snappily. Zhao Ping was also very indifferent to this. Mother, look at what she's saying. Zhao Ping didn't expect Zhao Yun to talk back. She complained to Liang Jinxiao angrily. Zhao Ping rolled her eyes. She felt that Zhao Ping was even more disgusting. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun and said in a very gentle tone, Yun, you went up the mountain just now, right? Zhao Yun nodded. In fact, Liang Jinxiao was very good to the original owner. Many times, he secretly sent some money and food. Zhao Yun was not an unreasonable person. She would be good to whoever was good to her. If someone was bad to her, she would naturally not be polite. Yun, you can't casually go into the mountain. It's dangerous. If something happened to you, mother would be worried to death. Liang Jinxiao held Zhao Yun's hand and said, Mother, I'm fine. I can take care of myself. I'm not a child. In order to let Daodu eat and wear warm clothes, I have to go into the mountain to find something good. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun and sighed. Chapter 16. After Zhao Ping finished her words, she walked forward and was about to take the pigeon eggs from Zhao Yun's basket. Zhao Yun pushed Zhao Ping's hand away. She hadn't even said that she would give them to her, but Zhao Ping was being so self-conscious. Mom, look. Aren't they just a few pigeon eggs? She doesn't even want to give them to us. You've given her so many good things. She's so heartless. Zhao Ping complained in front of Liang Jinxiao. Zhao Yun sneered. Zhao Ping was really good at sowing discord, but she wasn't easy to deal with. Sister, you have to have a conscience. When did I say that I wouldn't give them to my parents? Then why didn't you let me touch them just now? Isn't it because you don't want me to take them? Sister, you're really good at reading minds. How did you know what I was thinking? Zhao Yun said coldly. You, Zhao Ping glared at Zhao Yun angrily. Why didn't she realize that Zhao Yun was so eloquent before? She seemed to have changed into another person all of a sudden. Chapter 17. If they were to really give Daodu away, they were indeed reluctant to do so. Yunner. All right then. Mother won't make things difficult for you. Mother will go back and have a good talk with your grandmother. Liang Jinxiao thought about it and decided to let it go. She didn't agree with giving Daodu away from the start. If it wasn't for Hu Chunhua making a big fuss, she wouldn't have come this time. Mother, go back and tell grandmother. She'll definitely scold you again. Zhao Ping said noisily. She glared at Zhao Yun'er with dissatisfaction. You selfish brat. You only think about yourself and this little bastard. You don't care about father and mother. When Zhao Yun'er heard Zhao Ping call Daodu a little bastard, her eyes shot out a cold light. If her parents weren't here, she really wanted to give her a few slaps. All right, Ping, you can't stop talking. Let's go back. Liang Jinxiao reprimanded Zhao Ping. Zhao Ping was unwilling, but she still obediently shut her mouth. Yun'er, then father and mother will go back. Take care of yourself. If there's anything, just call father and mother. Liang Jinxiao exhorted and then left. Zhao Yun'er turned around and saw that Daodu was a little disappointed. It was difficult for children to hide their emotions. Whether it was sadness or happiness, it was always written on their faces. Zhao Yun'er squatted down and hugged Daodu. Daodu is unhappy? Mother. Daodu really won't leave mother? Of course. No matter who it is, don't even think about separating Daodu and mother. But grandmother, grandfather, grandmother, and the others all want to give Daodu away. Mother didn't agree, so they can't give it to anyone. Don't worry, Daodu, mother will protect Daodu. Yes, yes. The worry on Little Bun's face finally dissipated a little. In the afternoon, Zhao Yun'er tidied up the house and cleaned it inside and out. The places that could be repaired by themselves were repaired with hammers and nails. In her previous life, she was an expert in fixing all kinds of things in the office. She didn't expect that she would be of use here. However, there was nothing she could do about the holes in the walls and the roof. He couldn't live in this house for long. The best way was to save enough money and build a new house as soon as possible. There were a few broken jars in the house. Zhao Yun'er took them out and washed them with the water in the water tank. When they went up the mountain the next day, they would fill it with honey. Daodu was also helping by the side, his little hands helping to wash some small things from time to time. Although he was busy, Daodu seemed to be very happy. He completely treated it as if he was playing with Zhao Yun'er. After cleaning for an entire afternoon, the water in the water tank was about to reach the bottom of their feet. Zhao Yun'er said to Daodu, Daodu, why don't you stay at home by yourself for a while? Mother will go get some water. Mother, Daodu will go with you. It's dangerous by the river. Daodu can stand by the river later. Can he stand a little further away? Okay, Daodu will listen to mother. Okay. Just as Zhao Yun'er was about to leave, she saw a 16 or 17-year-old boy walking towards her house. The boy had delicate features and was almost 1.8 meters tall. However, he was too thin. In this era, children didn't eat well when they were growing. The person who came was none other than Zhao Yun'er's younger brother, Zhao Tianan. Chapter 18. Zhao Yun'er's family had a total of 6 people. In addition to Zhao Yun'er's parents, there was Zhao Ping'er and 2 younger brothers, Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu. Zhao Tianan was 16 years old, and Zhao Tianfu was only 8 years old this year. These 2 younger brothers were closer to her, especially Zhao Tianan. When he had nothing to do, he would come over and help her. Seeing Zhao Yun'er carrying a bucket of water, Zhao Tianan hurriedly took it. He said, "Second sister, I'll go fetch the water. You rest." Usually, Zhao Tianan came to fetch water many times, and Zhao Yun'er did not refuse. Now that she had transmigrated, the body of the original owner was weak and did not have much strength. Naturally, she could not compare with Zhao Tianan, a 1.8 meter tall young man. After Zhao Tianan carried the water a few times, he filled the water tank to the brim. However, there was a layer of sweat on his forehead. Zhao Yun'er handed over a handkerchief. "Come, Tianan, wipe the sweat on your head. Are you tired?" Zhao Tianan took it and wiped it. A smile appeared on his young face, revealing his cute little canine teeth. Second sister, it's okay. I'm not tired. If you're not tired, why are you sweating so much? Sit down and rest. Second sister will pour you some water to drink. Zhao Yun'er said, then turned to the table and poured a glass of water for Zhao Tianan. Zhao Tianan smiled shyly. Thank you, second sister. Why are you thanking me? Second sister should be thanking you. Second sister, we're a family. This is what I should do. Zhao Yun'er's lips also showed a smile. Zhao Tianan's words warmed her heart. In fact, as Zhao Tianan said, a family should support and help each other. Instead of treating her like the original owner's grandmother. Zhao Tianan did not rest for a while. He got up and wanted to help Zhao Yun'er. Second sister, I'll go chop some firewood for you. Zhao Tianan said. You just rested for a while. You don't have to chop today. Zhao Yun'er felt sorry for Zhao Tianan. It's okay, second sister. I'm not tired. I'm a man. If I can't do such a small thing, I'll be laughed at. Zhao Tianan said seriously, but Zhao Yun'er suddenly laughed. You're only 16 years old. In her eyes, he was really just a little brat. Second sister, I'm a man at 16 years old. Some of the people in our village who are around my age are already married, Zhao Tianan continued. This was ancient times. Unlike modern times, people got married very early. Most girls could get married at the age of 14. It was normal for boys to marry at 16 or 17 years old. However, Zhao Yun'er was a person of the 21st century. In Zhao Yun'er's mind, there were some things that she could not accept. Zhao Yun'er joked, Tianan, other people are married. Do you want to get married? How about big sister help you find a good girl and let you marry a wife? Zhao Tianan's face suddenly turned red. Second sister, what nonsense are you talking about? I'm not going to talk to you. I'm going out to chop firewood. Zhao Tianan said and rushed out of the room. Zhao Yun'er, who was left in the room, laughed to herself. Her brother's shy appearance was really cute. Mother, what does it mean to marry a wife? Daodu pulled Zhao Yun'er's skirt and asked. Chapter 19. Daodu nodded as if he didn't fully understand. Then he asked in a soft voice, Mother, will Daodu also get married in the future? Zhao Yun nodded, yes, when Daodu grows up, Mother will also find a beautiful wife for Daodu. Daodu can't get married now? Daodu asked in a soft and cute voice. Zhao Yun was amused by Daodu's words. What, Daodu is still so young, could it be that he's already thinking about getting married? Eldest uncle is getting married, Daodu is also getting married. Pfft, Zhao Yun laughed and tapped Daodu's little nose, you're really shameless. You're still so young, no one will marry you. You can only wait until you're as tall as uncle before you can get married. Oh, then Daodu will work hard to grow taller. Okay, I'll wait for Daodu to grow taller. Mother will go cook now. Your Uncle Lu sent the chicken over, Mother will stew some soup for you. It was time to make dinner, so Zhao Yun had to go prepare. After a busy afternoon, her stomach was indeed a little hungry. Daodu nodded excitedly, Mother, Daodu will also go help. Okay. Zhao Yun went to the kitchen. The pheasant had already been plucked in the afternoon, its belly was cut open, and it was washed clean. Pheasants were not as small as domestic chickens, and the one that Lu Lei sent was only a little more than a gene. Zhao Yun chopped the pheasant into small pieces so that it would be easier to eat when it's ready to be taken out of the pot. She deliberately kept the two big chicken legs well, as children generally like to eat chicken legs. She put the chopped pheasant into the pot, filled it with water, and added a few pieces of ginger, then started the fire to cook it. Daodu skillfully lit a torch in the cave and stewed for about half an hour. The stove was already emitting a thick white smoke, and the fragrance of the chicken soup was also emitting. Zhao Yun's body hadn't eaten anything good in a long time, so when she smelled the chicken soup, she couldn't help but swallow. Daodu's big and bright eyes stared at the pot, as if he was very eager to drink the chicken soup as soon as possible. Zhao Yun was also attracted by Daodu's cuteness. In the modern era, children think of chicken soup as a good thing. They preferred snacks, potato chips, Kentucky Fried Chicken, McDonald's, and the like. Second sister, I'm done. Zhao Tianan walked in and said to Zhao Yun, Daodu said Daodu, SSS head. Looking at the firewood outside the door, Zhao Yun had a smile on her lips. Thank you for your hard work, Tianan. Hee, it's not hard at all. Daodu, I'll go back first. It's almost time for dinner. Just as Zhao Tianan was about to say goodbye, Zhao Yun stopped Zhao Tianan and said, Tianan, eat at my place tonight. I've stewed some chicken soup. Zhao Tianan hurriedly waved his hand to refuse. Although he couldn't help but drool when he smelled the chicken soup, he still couldn't freeload at Zhao Yun's place. After all, Zhao Yun didn't have it easy with Daodu. It wasn't easy for her to have a good meal, so she couldn't share it with him. Daodu, you and Daodu eat a little more. I'll go back and eat. Zhao Tianan was about to leave when Zhao Yun pulled him back. You've helped me do so much work. If you don't stay for dinner, I won't ask you to help me next time. Zhao Tianan hesitated when he heard Zhao Yun's words. Chapter 20. Okay. You go to the room and rest first. Second sister will be done soon. Zhao Tianan responded, but he still seemed a little embarrassed. The chicken pieces in the pot were almost stewed until they were a little soft. Zhao Yun added 10 pigeon eggs to it, and then began to roll out the noodles. Just drinking the chicken soup was definitely not enough to fill the stomach, and the chicken pieces were so small. She had to cook some noodles. When the noodles were rolled out and the chicken soup was ready, Zhao Yun filled some chicken soup and chicken pieces to eat tomorrow. The remaining half a pot of chicken soup was used to cook the noodles. The taste of the chicken soup was also good. In the countryside of ancient times, it was really good stuff. Ordinary people could only eat it a few times a year. After cooking the noodles, Zhao Yun took out 3 large bowls. She divided the noodles and chicken pieces in the pot. Zhao Tianan was big and at the age where he had a big appetite, so Zhao Yun gave him a little more and added a few more chicken pieces. In addition, there were 2 chicken legs. One was given to Daodu, and the other was given to Zhao Tianan. Okay, you can eat now. Let's go, Daodu, go to the table first. Mother will bring it to you. It's a little hot. Daodu nodded sensibly and ran to the table like a wisp of smoke. Zhao Yun also brought in the 3 bowls. Looking at the large bowl of chicken soup noodles and chicken pieces, Zhao Tianan's eyes flashed with a trace of emotion. Second sister was so nice. She always thought of leaving some delicious food for him. Seeing Zhao Yun push the largest bowl of noodles in front of him, with chicken legs inside, Zhao Tianan immediately asked to exchange with Zhao Yun. Sister, I can eat the small bowl. You eat more. There's also a chicken leg. You can eat it, or give it to Daodu. I don't need it. Zhao Yun shook her head helplessly when she saw how polite her younger brother was. She knew that Zhao Tianan just wanted to leave the best for her and Daodu. You've done a lot of work today, so you should eat more. Second sister had a small appetite and Daodu was so small, so she couldn't eat much. Tianan, we're family. You don't have to be polite with second sister. Eat more. After Zhao Yun said this, Zhao Tianan found it hard to refuse. With a shy smile on her face, she nodded and began to eat. Zhao Tianan hadn't eaten meat for a long time. The delicious taste of the chicken soup and the refreshing texture of the noodles made Zhao Tianan gulp them down quickly. Seeing Zhao Tianan wolfing down the food, the smile on Zhao Yun's lips deepened, and at the same time, there was a trace of sadness. Tianan, eat slowly. Don't choke. Zhao Yuner reminded Zhao Tianan. Zhao Tianan paused and looked at Zhao Yuner with some embarrassment. Yes, I know, second sister. It's just that your noodles are so delicious that I couldn't help but eat faster. Seeing Zhao Tianan's blushing face, Zhao Yuner smiled. Second sister isn't blaming you. Why are you explaining? If you like it, second sister will make some other delicious food for you. Tomorrow, bring Tianfu over. Second sister also caught pigeons and stewed soup for you. Second sister. That's not good. I can eat 1 or 2 meals, but I can't always eat at your place. Zhao Yuner patted Zhao Tianan's shoulder. It's okay. Don't you always help second sister with her work? We're family. You always refuse to be polite like outsiders. Second sister doesn't like it. Chapter 21. Zhao Yun also nodded in agreement. As long as Zhao Tianan was happy, he could do whatever he wanted. Anyway, even if he didn't agree to Zhao Tianan's request, he would still come over often to help. They were satisfied with the chicken noodle soup. After eating, Zhao Tianan was ready to go back. Zhao Yun called out to Zhao Tianan. Sister, what's the matter? Is there anything else? Zhao Tianan asked. Zhao Yun brought out the prepared chicken soup. In addition to some chicken soup, there were some chicken pieces in the bowl. In addition, the 10 pigeon eggs that Zhao Yun put in were also put in the bowl. Zhao Yun handed it to Zhao Tianan and said, Tianan, take this back and let Dad and Mom eat it. Zhao Tianan hesitated whether to take it or not. Second sister, you can eat it yourself. You don't have to give it to us, right? It's okay. Second sister has delicious food here. Take it back and let Dad and Mom eat it first. But, no buts. Zhao Yun stuffed it into Zhao Tianan's hand. Go back quickly. It's almost dark. Zhao Tianan sighed and nodded. Then, sister, I'll go back first. Okay. Zhao Tianan trotted home, but before he went back, he first checked the situation at home. Such a good thing, naturally, he couldn't take it back in front of his family. Otherwise, his grandmother, aunt, and the other women would directly snatch the chicken soup away. They probably wouldn't even leave a chicken bone for his parents. After Zhao Tianan entered the courtyard, he heard the noise inside. It was his parents, grandmother, and aunt who were quarreling non-stop. Zhao Tianan listened attentively and heard the contents of the quarrel. Hua Chunhua shouted at the top of her voice, "You two useless guys. You can't even do something well. Mother, isn't Yun against giving Daodu away? Besides, Daodu is also Yun'er's biological son." Liang Jinxiao replied in a low voice, but Hua Chunhua immediately scolded him again. Third daughter-in-law, you're still being stubborn? Don't tell me you still want to keep that little bastard as a disgrace to our old Zhao family for the rest of his life? Mother, that's not it. Isn't Yun'er against it? There's no reason for me to snatch it, right? Hua Chunhua glared at Liang Jinxiao, exasperated at his failure to live up to her expectations. You're always talking back. What kind of life are you living? With a mother like you, it's normal for you to give birth to a little b*tch. Liang Jinxiao's face turned green and red. Even though she felt uncomfortable, Hua Chunhua was her mother-in-law, so she couldn't refute her. Zhao Wenhua couldn't help but advise, Mother, don't scold Jinxiao. You know Yun'er, this child, has a bit of a temper. If you send Daodu away from her, she'll definitely make a fuss. Let's take it slow and persuade her slowly. Hua Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenhua again. Persuade her. Do you think you have so much time to persuade her? By the time you're done persuading her, someone will have already sent the child over. 200 taels of silver. Hua Chunhua couldn't wait to get her hands on the 200 taels of silver. All right. You've just finished eating and you're already quarreling. If you continue to quarrel, get out." Zhao Baoshan, who had been silent all this while, reprimanded them. The whole family was so noisy that he was getting a headache. Chapter 22. Zhao Baoshan took out his tobacco pipe and started smoking. White smoke rose in the room. Zhao Baoshan waved at Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao and said, "Go back to your room and rest." "Okay, father." Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao responded and went out. Seeing that Zhao Baoshan was silent again, Hu Chunhua couldn't help but say, "Old man, this is 200 taels of silver. If we get 200 taels of silver, our old Zhao family will be able to buy a lot of land. Our lives will definitely be better in the future. What's wrong with letting me say a few words?" Li Chuiying, who was still standing in the room, hurriedly said, "Yes, yes. Father, 200 taels of silver is not a small amount. If it's our old Zhao family's grandson, it's fine. But Daodu is a little bastard. We'll be laughed at if we keep him. It's better for us to give him away." Zhao Baoshan paused and glanced at Hu Chunhua and Li Chuiying. "Don't think about money all day. Some things should be decided by Yun herself." Hu Chunhua and Li Chuiying shut their mouths. They knew Zhao Baoshan's temperament and it was useless to say anything more to him. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao returned to their own rooms. Old Zhao had a lot of family members and they hadn't split up yet. There were 4 of them in total. Including his unmarried aunt, they could only squeeze into one room. Zhao Tianan leaned against the wall and sneaked into his own room. Seeing that Zhao Tianan had returned, Liang Jinxiao hurriedly asked, "Tianan, why are you back so late? Where did you go? Have you eaten?" "Mother, I've eaten. I ate at second sister's house. Second sister made chicken noodle soup. It's delicious." "Oh right, second sister also asked me to bring some chicken soup back." Upon hearing the chicken soup, Zhao Ping, who was lying in the room, immediately got up. "Chicken soup? Where's the chicken soup?" Seeing the chicken soup in Zhao Tianan's hands, she hurriedly took it. "Give it to me, give it to me." "Eldest sister, this is for father and mother," Zhao Tianan mumbled, afraid that Zhao Ping would finish it alone. Liang Jinxiao frowned and said, "Tianan, it's not easy for your second sister's house to have something good. Why are you still eating and taking? Give it back to your second sister later." "Mother, it was second sister who forced it on me. It's a gift, this is a gift, a gift, a gift. We haven't had chicken soups to drink in a long." "That's right, father, mother, we haven't had any minced meat in such a long time. She asked Tianan to give it to us, so let's give it to her. Besides, you've always sent her food. Otherwise, that little bastard of hers would have starved to death. Now that she has something good, she naturally wants to send some to us. Otherwise, her conscience would have been eaten by a dog." Zhao Ping held the bowl of chicken soup and said matter-of-factly. Then, she called Zhao Tianhua and Liang Jinxiao and said, "Mother, let's eat. It's still hot. It won't taste good when it gets cold." Liang Jinxiao sighed. Seeing that Zhao Ping and Zhao Tianfu were staring at the bowl with greedy expressions, he said, "Okay, then you two eat." At night, the sky was dotted with stars. The countryside was exceptionally quiet at night. Chapter 23. She was used to sleeping on the Simmons bed, so she couldn't sleep at night. The village was near the mountain, so the temperature difference between day and night was huge. At night, the temperature was very low. Even with the thin quilt covering her body, it was still very cold. Zhao Yun and Daodu slept in their clothes. Daodu's lips were a little purple because of the cold. Zhao Yun hugged Daodu in her arms, letting him feel the warmth of her body. The little bun also had a faint milky fragrance on his body, which was very pleasant to smell. In the middle of the night, Zhao Yun was really sleepy and unknowingly fell asleep. The next morning, Zhao Yun woke up. Today, she was going to go up the mountain and rush back for lunch, so she had to go early. Daodu was still sleeping soundly. Zhao Yun patted Daodu's little face and gently called out to Daodu, "Daodu, mother is going up the mountain. Get up." Daodu rubbed his sleepy eyes and quickly got up. Zhao Yun put the things in the basket and prepared them. Then, she held Daodu's little hand and walked up the mountain. In the early morning, there was still a thin fog on the mountain, and there was a trace of coolness. Zhao Yun directly went to the beehive she remembered last time. This time, the purpose of going up the mountain was to get the honey. Although there wasn't much honey in a beehive, there were many beehives in the mountain. If she could get a few of them, she would be able to get a lot of honey. Zhao Yun took Daodu to the bottom of a beehive. First, she let Daodu hide a little further away, so that the bees wouldn't fly over and sting Daodu. "Daodu, you stay here and don't move. Nyangqin is going to climb up the tree," Zhao Yun warned. Yes, mother." Daodu nodded sensibly. Zhao Yun kissed Daodu's little face. Daodu is so obedient. Then, she turned and climbed up the tree. Zhao Yun tried her best to be as light as possible, so as not to disturb the bees on the tree. Then, she took out the tools she prepared. She lit a bunch of grass mixed with soil. This way, the grass wouldn't burn, but thick smoke would come out. After Zhao Yun did all this, she hurriedly climbed down the tree and retreated to Daodu's position. Not long after, the smoke became thicker and thicker. The bees that were originally staying in the beehive seemed to be unable to bear it and slowly began to fly out of the beehive. After all, the beehive, and the beehive, Zhao Yun went back up the tree. Then, she took out a small knife and cut a small hole in the beehive. Then, she took out all the honey from the beehive. Zhao Yun didn't completely destroy the beehive. The beehive was where the bees lived. She didn't want to destroy the beehive just to get some honey. In addition, she left the beehive. The bees would come back on their own. After a while, she could continue to get more honey. There wasn't much honey in one beehive. Fortunately, there were many beehives on the mountain. Zhao Yun followed the same method and took out 2 large jars of honey. In ancient times, honey was also a good thing. Generally, only rich families could afford it. 2 jars of honey should be worth a lot of money. Unknowingly, the whole morning had passed. Zhao Yun was full of harvests and prepared to go down the mountain with Daodu. Aunt Lu and Zhao Yun's houses were not far from each other. Aunt Lu would drop by when she had nothing to do and bring some things over from time to time. "Yuner girl." Aunt Lu's warm and affectionate voice could be heard from afar. Zhao Yuner smiled at Aunt Lu and asked, "Aunt Lu, is there anything I can help you with?" Aunt Lu smiled and said, "I made some shepherd's purse dumplings and brought you a bowl. You and Daodu can have a taste." As she spoke, Auntie Lu lifted the cloth covering the basket. The dumplings inside were steaming hot. Chapter 25. Thank you, Auntie Lu. Zhao Yun didn't refuse. She knew that Auntie Lu was sincere in giving them to her and Daodu. "Don't mention it. It's just a bowl of dumplings." Auntie Lu smiled brightly. "Auntie Lu, come in and sit for a while," Zhao Yun said. Auntie Lu nodded with a smile. She had already eaten. Since she had nothing to do, she didn't mind chatting with Zhao Yun for a while. After the two of them entered Zhao Yun's house, Zhao Yun first poured a glass of water for Auntie Lu, then brought over 10 pigeon eggs from the kitchen. Zhao Yun was very grateful for Auntie Lu's help over the past few years. Since she had something good now, she had to give some to Auntie Lu. Auntie Lu hurriedly refused. "Yun, you should keep these pigeon eggs for yourself and Daodu." "Why are you giving them to Auntie?" "Auntie Lu, I've taken so many things from you over the past few years. I finally have the chance to give you some, but you're still refusing me." Auntie Lu sighed, then smiled and said, "All right, then Auntie will accept them." "Yun, you're really a good child. It's just a pity," Zhao Yun smiled bitterly. She knew what Auntie Lu was referring to. She also silently mourned for the original owner for a while. With the original owner's looks, she would have been able to find a good marriage if she hadn't gotten pregnant out of wedlock. She wouldn't have had such a hard time over the past few years. Grandma Lu, Dao De held a bowl in his hand and brought it to Auntie Lu. He said to Auntie Lu, "Grandma Lu, this is the water my mother made for me. It's very sweet. Daodu, you should drink some too." Auntie Lu looked at Daodu's sensible appearance and a trace of tenderness flashed through her eyes. She stroked Daodu's head and said, "Daodu is such a good boy. If Grandma doesn't want to drink, Daodu can drink it himself. Then Daodu will drink it." Lil P smiled sweetly at Auntie Lu, and then drank the sweet water made by Zhao Yun, with honey in small mouthfuls. "Daodu is such a sensible and adorable child. My heart aches for him." Auntie Lu sighed. As if remembering something, Aunt Lu asked, "By the way, Yunner, did you ask your grandmother, first aunt, and second aunt to come over yesterday to make trouble again?" Zhao Yun saw Aunt Lu's concerned eyes and told her the truth. Auntie Lu snorted coldly and felt indignant for Zhao Yun. In any case, Daodu is also your biological child. The blood of the Zhao family also flows in her veins. How can your grandmother be so cruel? Hasn't she always been like this? But as long as I'm here, I will never allow them to send Daodu away." Auntie Lu sighed and said, "Yunner, Auntie doesn't want to criticize you, but you're still young and can still get married. Why don't Auntie help you find an honest man and marry him? You won't be in the village anymore and your grandmother won't have any ideas about Daodu. Besides, you can't always be single. With Daodu, this woman has no one to rely on and she has a child. Life will be very difficult." Zhao Yun knew that Auntie Lu was trying to persuade her with good intentions, but she was a woman from the 21st century. She was different from the Zhao Yun of the past. If she didn't like the man, she would never force herself to get married. Chapter 26. When Daodu finished speaking, Zhao Yun's mouth twitched slightly. She felt a bit awkward. Daodu really engraved her words in her heart. Aunt Lu couldn't help but laugh at Daodu's words. "Yun, the girl, Daodu's words are really cute." Zhao Yun forced a smile. She was too embarrassed to tell Aunt Lu that she was the one who said those words. Aunt Lu, I think it's pretty good to raise Daodu alone right now. I don't plan on finding someone to marry at the moment. After all, Daodu isn't someone else's biological child. Who knows if someone will treat Daodu badly. I don't want Daodu to suffer even the slightest bit." Aunt Lu nodded. "That's true. Yun, girl, it's been hard on you. It's okay. I think it's pretty good right now. If you want to get married, just tell Auntie. Auntie will definitely try her best to find you a good match." Okay. "Oh right, Aunt Lu, I want to go to the city tomorrow. How do I get there?" Zhao Yun wanted to sell the 2 jars of honey, but she could only go to the city to sell them. She knew a bit from the original owner's memories. Yang City was about 10 to 20 kilometers away from the village. Yang City wasn't far from the capital. It was very prosperous and many officials in the capital had residences in Yang City. Naturally, there were many rich people in the city. "Yun, a girl, you want to go to the city?" I got some good stuff. I want to sell it and exchange it for some food. At least Daodu and I won't starve." Zhao Yun explained. "Then you can take old man whose ox cart tomorrow morning." The two chatted for a while before Aunt Lu left. They ate too much at noon, so she and Daodu couldn't eat the shepherd's purse dumplings that Aunt Lu sent over. After Daodu drank the honey water, he tugged on Zhao Yun's clothes and said it was delicious. Children all like to eat sweets, and Daodu was no exception. Zhao Yun made a bowl of the 2 jars of honey that she was going to sell. She could make more honey water for Daodu later. Honey was good for the stomach and beauty. She could also drink some. Zhao Yun's life was too hard in the past. Sometimes her stomach would hurt, and her complexion didn't look too good. 2. There was nothing else for the whole afternoon. Zhao Yun stayed in the house with Daodu in addition to turning over the tea leaves. When it was 4 o'clock came over, Zhao Tianfu and Zhao Tianfu came over. Daodu was Daodu. Was Daodu. Was Daodu. Daodu was born after Zhao Yun got pregnant out of wedlock. He was called a little bastard by many people. Therefore, the other children in the village brought Daodu to play with them. Zhao Tianfu usually came over and took Daodu to play with some interesting things. Daodu liked this uncle very much. Big uncle, little uncle, Daodu called out sweetly. Daodu, Zhao Tianfu came over and held Daodu's little hand. Looking at her 2 younger brothers' love for Daodu, the corner of Zhao Yun's mouth also revealed a smile. Zhao Tianfu took Daodu out to play in the village. Zhao Tianan stayed. He wanted to help Zhao Yun, so he filled 2 buckets with water and chopped some firewood. Second sister. Zhao Tianan looked at Zhao Yun. He wanted to say something, but stopped. Chapter 27. Second sister, I heard our grandmother quarreling with father and mother last night. Second sister, is grandmother really going to give Daodu away? Zhao Tianan asked with a frown. Obviously, he didn't want Daodu to be sent away either. Zhao Yun was more concerned about Hu Chunhua scolding her parents. That damned old woman had indeed gone back to torment Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao. She didn't dare to visit them, and now she was venting her anger on them. Zhao Yun knew that her parents were in a difficult position, but she definitely wouldn't send Daodu away. Tianan, if grandmother bullies father and mother in the future, tell second sister. Second sister, are you going to help father and mother? Zhao Yun puffed out her chest. Of course. I can't let father and mother be bullied. Besides, father and mother were scolded by grandmother because of Daodu. Yes, second sister, then I'll protect father and mother in the future. I'm already so old, and I have the ability. I'll also protect second sister and Daodu. I won't let grandmother send Daodu away. Zhao Yun's heart warmed. She smiled at Zhao Tianan and said, Tianan, you're so good. Second sister has a good younger brother. Zhao Tianan touched his head shyly. Second sister, this is what I should do. We're family. Huh, you're right. Go and rest. Second sister will cook. Yes, yes. Zhao Yun killed all the pigeons, plucked their feathers, and cut open their bellies. Her movements were very nimble, and then she put them into the pot to stew. A pot of pigeon soup was stewed, and it smelled similar to chicken soup. Zhao Yun rolled out some noodles, enough for a few people, and put them into the pot to cook. After a while, a fragrant dinner was ready. Zhao Tianfu had already returned with Daodu. Zhao Tianfu was still young, so compared to Zhao Tianan, he seemed a little greedy. He ate the noodles and pigeon meat, almost wolfing them down. As she ate, she smiled at Zhao Yun'er. Second sister, it's really delicious. Zhao Yun'er felt a little sour in her heart. The children of ancient times were really pitiful. Zhao Yun'er said softly, if it's delicious, then eat more. Second sister made a lot. Zhao Tianfu smiled and nodded. Zhao Tianan poked Zhao Tianfu with his elbow and whispered into Zhao Tianan's ear, Tianfu, don't eat too much. Leave some for second sister and Daodu. Oh. Zhao Tianfu reacted. After finishing a bowl, he sat on the stool and wiped his mouth. He was too embarrassed to continue eating. Zhao Yun'er said, Tianfu, second sister will go and get more for you. Zhao Tianfu hurriedly waved his hand and smiled shyly. No need, second sister. I'm full. Tianfu, don't be shy. Eat more if you like. It's not like second sister doesn't have it here. There's still a lot left in the pot. Zhao Tianfu licked his lower lip, looking as if he hadn't had enough, but he suppressed himself and was too embarrassed to speak. He looked at Zhao Tianan and asked for Zhao Tianan's opinion. Zhao Yuner picked up Zhao Tianfu's bowl and scooped a bowl for him. Only when you're full will you have strength. I'll need your help tomorrow. When they heard that she wanted their help, the two children seemed a little excited. They probably felt that after eating Zhao Yuner's food, their hearts were wrapped up, so they wanted to help her do more work. Second sister, what do you want us to do for you tomorrow? Zhao Tianan asked. Chapter 28. Zhao Yun couldn't bring Daodu with her when she went to town tomorrow. However, she was worried about leaving Daodu alone at home. She needed someone to look after Daodu. Sister, of course, Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu said with a smile. Okay, I'll leave Daodu to you. Don't worry, sister. We'll look after Daodu. We won't let Daodu get bullied. Okay. Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu went back after they were full. This time, Zhao Yun didn't have much pigeon soup left in the pot, so she didn't send any to her parents. When Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu arrived home, old Zhao's family was just about to have lunch. When he called the two of them over to eat, the two of them ran back to their room. Hua Chunhua asked with some doubts, these two boys are really strange, especially Tianan. He hasn't eaten dinner for the past 2 days. Isn't he hungry? In the past, when it's late, he's faster than anyone to grab food. After Hua Chunhua finished speaking, Zhao Ping, who was sitting and eating dinner, snorted coldly. Let's go to that little tch Zhao Yun's place to eat. The dishes on the table were only a few plates of cabbage and shepherd's purse picked from the ridge in the fields. There was nothing else. There wasn't a trace of oil in the dishes. Just looking at them made one lose their appetite. How could they compare to the taste of the chicken soup she drank last night? What can we eat at her place? Hua Chunhua snorted coldly, seemingly very disdainful. Let alone good food, if that little tch could fill her stomach, she would admire it. Zhao Ping, put down her bowl and chopsticks and said to Hua Chunhua, Grandma, you don't know, right? Zhao Yun made chicken soup last night. Tianan had gone to drink chicken soup and eat chicken. Today, he brought Tianfu over. Who knows what good things he's going to eat? At the mention of the chicken soup, Li Chuiying's eyes suddenly lit up. He licked the corner of his mouth as if he was craving for it. Where did that girl get this good stuff? Hua Chunhua was a little puzzled. She didn't know why, but when she heard that Zhao Yun was eating good food, she felt very uncomfortable. Zhao Pinger shrugged her shoulders and said, who knows? If he didn't steal it, then he must have gotten it through some other means. After Zhao Pinger finished speaking, Liang Jinxiao glared at her and reprimanded, Pinger, how could you say that? If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. Zhao Ping pouted and poked at the food in her bowl. It tasted so bad. If it weren't for the fact that she was afraid of starving, she really wouldn't be able to eat it. That girl has grown up. She's learned how to steal things. How can this be? She's going to embarrass our old Zhao family in the future. Hua Chunhua said angrily, as if she had found another reason to look for Zhao Yun. Liang Jinxiao hurriedly explained, Mother, don't misunderstand. Don't listen to Pinger's nonsense. Yun didn't do anything sneaky. Yesterday, when I went to Yun's place, I saw that she went to the mountains to catch pigeons. She even took some pigeon eggs and stewed them with pigeon soup. It's not chicken soup, it's just pigeon soup. Hua Chunhua snorted coldly, that girl has indeed grown up. She even went to the mountains to steal birds' nests. It'll be good if she's eaten by wild beasts. That's enough. Don't you find it annoying to keep chattering? Do you still want to eat? Zhao Baoshan asked impatiently. Chapter 29. Hu Chunhua was afraid that Zhao Baoshan would be unhappy, so she immediately sat down and started eating. Zhao Baoshan didn't say anything. In ancient times, men were everything. Even a woman like Hu Chunhua was extremely obedient to her man. Li Chuiying swallowed her saliva and smiled at Hu Chunhua. Mother, when are we going to get some meat to eat? We haven't seen any minced meat since the new year, and there isn't even a bit of oil in the dishes. The boys in the family are growing, so they can't keep eating these. We should buy some good food to nourish them from time to time. Li Chuiying made it sound nice. She kept talking about her children, but the truth was that she wanted to eat. She was too embarrassed to say it out loud at her age, so she could only use her children as an excuse. Now that old Zhao's family hadn't split up, the money that the family earned was all given to Hu Chunhua. Moreover, they couldn't keep it for themselves. Otherwise, if Hu Chunhua found out about it, she would scold them for a few days and nights. Usually, when they weren't busy with farm work, the men in the family would find some work to do. If they went to town or the city to help, they could earn more than 10 copper coins a day. All of this money had to be given to Hu Chunhua. However, when Hu Chunhua was in a good mood, she would leave some for the family to spend as pocket money. Zhao Wenhua worked diligently and earned more money in the hopes that Hu Chunhua would be happy and leave him a few copper coins. In other words, he could use this money to buy some food to help Zhao Yuner. However, he didn't have a single copper coin in his private savings. Hu Chunhua glared at Li Chuiying. Eat, 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 all you know is to eat. Don't think that I don't know what you're thinking. You're the one who wants to eat, and you're dragging the child into it. Not only was Li Chuiying not angry, he even smiled apologetically and said, Mother, you misunderstood. I really didn't do it for myself. I'm just telling the truth. Our old Zhao family isn't that poor. It's not a big deal to buy some meat for the family to enjoy, right? Hu Chunhua still glared at Li Chuiying unhappily. A caddy of meat costs 15 copper coins. If you have the ability to earn it back, I'll buy meat for you. Li Chuiying curled his lips. He didn't say anything, but in his heart, he was cursing Li Chuiying. This stingy old woman. If she could earn 15 copper coins, she would buy it herself secretly. Why would she need to buy meat for the family to enjoy? Zhao Ping poked the cabbage and said to Hu Chunhua, Grandmother, I think second aunt is right. We haven't eaten meat for months, and there's no oil in the vegetables. Zhao Yun can eat meat. We can't live worse than her, right? Hu Chunhua was annoyed at the mention of Zhao Yun. He felt that Zhao Pinger's words were also reasonable. Their family's life couldn't be worse than Zhao Yun's, so he said, That's fine. Tomorrow, I'll go and weigh a gene of pork back for you to eat. As soon as Hu Chunhua finished speaking, the people at the table were unusually excited. They were looking forward to eating pork tomorrow. The next morning, Zhao Yun got up when the sky was still dark. Her eyes were still a little sleepy. She didn't sleep well. Yesterday, she entrusted Dao to her two younger brothers. Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu came over early and also got up before dawn. Chapter 30. Before she left, she reminded Dao to listen to his two uncles. Then, she carried the basket on her back and set off. Tianan, Tianfu, sorry to trouble you. Second sister will bring you delicious food when I come back. Zhao Yun said before she left. It's okay, second sister. You can go now. Zhao Tianan said. Although Zhao Yun said that she would bring them delicious food, the two younger brothers did not expect Zhao Yun to really bring them food. After all, the dinner they had at Zhao Yun's place was already delicious. Zhao Yun followed Aunt Lu's instructions and went to Old Man Hu's house to take the ox cart. It cost 3 copper coins per person to go there and 6 copper coins for a round trip. Zhao Yun did not have a single copper coin on hand now. She had to borrow money from Aunt Lu to take the ox cart. When she arrived at Old Man Hu's house, there were already a few people sitting in Old Man Hu's cart. They were all preparing to go to the city market. In addition to farming at home, the villagers would also go to the city to sell things in their free time. Some of them sold vegetables, some of them sold silk flowers, and some of them sold other things that they had woven themselves. Although they could not sell for much money, they could more or less supplement the family's income. The game that Lu Lei hunted on a daily basis, except for the people in the village who would buy some, most of it would be sold in the city. The restaurants in the city liked to buy game and would usually offer a good price. When they saw Zhao Yun go over, the madams in the carriage began to chatter. The matter of Zhao Yun giving birth out of wedlock caused the people in the village to more or less gossip about her. Usually, no one was willing to pay attention to her. They all thought that she was an unclean and dissolute woman. "Oh, isn't this Liang Jinxiao's second daughter?" One of the madams said at the top of her voice, not avoiding the topic at all. "That's right. I've never seen her go to the city. Why did she go out today? Who knows? She probably went out to sell things. She still has the nerve to come out for a walk. What's there to be embarrassed about? She can even do the ugly thing of having a child out of wedlock. What else can't she do?" "That's true. TSK, TSK, TSK. Just by looking at their lofty ideals, the shady business they did was disgusting. Sigh, if it was my daughter, I would have broken half of her leg. These women just had nothing to do and were bored to death. When they finally had something to talk about, they liked to grab onto it and not let it go. Make fun of yourself by making fun of others." Even in front of Zhao Yuner, he did not know how to restrain himself. Zhao Yuner was too lazy to argue with these women. These rural women had no manners at all. If he argued with them, he would feel that it was a waste of his saliva. He would just treat it as if they were farting. Zhao Yuner walked over with a basket on her back. Father Hu greeted Zhao Yuner amiably. "Yuner, you're also going to the city today?" Zhao Yuner also smiled and nodded at Father Hu. "Yes, I'm going to the town to sell some things in exchange for some food." Father Hu laughed happily and said, "Yuner, get on the carriage. It's still spacious." Zhao Yuner nodded and got on the ox carriage. Chapter 31. When she leaned over, she realized that there was nothing much in Zhao Yun's basket. There were only 2 ceramic jars. The jars were covered, so she couldn't tell what was inside. A woman in her 30s forced a smile and said to Zhao Yun, "Lass, what's in your basket?" Zhao Yun replied indifferently, "Nothing." How could the woman believe Zhao Yun's excuse? She grinned and leaned over. "Lass, just tell Auntie. We're from the same village. When we go to the city to sell something good, we'll tell each other. Of course it's not as good as Auntie's. If I tell you, I'm afraid you'll laugh at me, so it's better not to say," Zhao Yun said. When the woman saw that Zhao Yun didn't want to say anything, she felt bored and couldn't help but scold her. "If you don't want to say it, then don't say it. Anyway, it's definitely not something good. There are some people in the city who haven't been there before. If they sell something they think is precious, probably no one will want it. When you go to the city, you won't be able to sell the thing and even have to pay for the carriage." These words were naturally for Zhao Yun to hear. Zhao Yun's lips curled up slightly. Instead, she smiled and said politely, "Thank you for your concern, Auntie, but this is my business." The woman was so angry at Zhao Yun that she snorted softly. She turned around and scolded Zhao Yun in front of the other women. Zhao Yun pretended not to hear. Her mouth was on other people's bodies. Why should she care about what other people said? Zhao Yun sat on the ox cart and waited for a while. Later, a few people came one after another. Seeing that it was about time, Old Man Hu shouted and prepared to set off. The ox cart's speed wasn't as fast as the horse carriage. It swayed as it drove towards Yang City. It was a journey of more than 10 miles. It would be too tiring to walk there. Basically, when they went there, they would bring things with them. Old Man Hu's long whip whipped the cows' buttocks as they hurried on their way. He even hummed a tune from the countryside, looking carefree and relaxed. The morning air was very fresh, mixed with the fragrance of the earth. Along the bumpy road, Zhao Yun'er felt that it was a different kind of fun. About an hour later, they arrived at Sun City. At this time, the morning sun had already risen. Sun City was bustling with activity. After entering, they saw stalls of various sizes selling all kinds of things. It was early in the morning, and the aroma of breakfast spread throughout the streets. Zhao Yun'er hadn't eaten breakfast yet, but she was already a little hungry from the aroma. Father Hu found an open space and stopped. Then, he called out to the people in the car, "You guys go ahead. I'll wait here." After he finished speaking, he took out his tobacco pipe and tobacco pouch, sat on the ox cart, and began to leisurely smoke. The women who brought things over to sell alighted one after another. There was a fixed place to set up stalls in the city to sell things. When they went there, they had to pay a booth fee of 3 copper coins. Zhao Yun'er knew that her honey was good stuff. If she brought it to the market, ordinary people might not be able to afford it. She had to find a shop that specialized in selling honey and then resell her honey. Chapter 32. Zhao Yun shook her head and said, "Thank you for your concern, Auntie. I can't sell the things I brought to the market. I have to try my luck elsewhere." "All right then. Yang City is very big. Don't get lost. Remember to come back here," the woman reminded her. Zhao Yun nodded. "Thank you, Auntie." With that, she carried the basket on her back and walked on the streets of Yang City. She began to look for a shop that could sell honey. There were many shops on this street, and they sold a lot of things. If she had money, Zhao Yun wanted to make a good purchase. However, she only had a few copper coins in her hand now, and they were borrowed from her. After searching for about half an hour, Zhao Yun finally found a shop, so she walked into the shop. The shop owner saw that Zhao Yun was dressed plainly, and there were even a few puddings on her clothes. However, it was clean and tidy. Thus, he asked, "Miss, are you here to buy something?" Zhao Yun shook her head. "No, I'm here to sell something." The shop owner was amused by Zhao Yun. "I don't lack anything here. I wonder what you want to sell to me?" The shop owner was still polite and did not chase Zhao Yun out of the shop. If it were other shops, they would probably be too lazy to listen to Zhao Yun's nagging. "I saw that you sell honey here. I have some honey, so I want to sell it to you," Zhao Yun said. As she spoke, she took out the honey from the basket on her back and handed it to the shop owner. When he opened the jar, the sweet smell of honey wafted out. The shop owner leaned forward and took a look. Actually, they had a special supply channel for their honey. They did not sell it separately. However, when he saw that Zhao Yun seemed to want to sell his honey, she was dressed plainly. Perhaps her family was in urgent need of money. He took a look at the honey. The quality was not bad. It was even more fragrant than the honey in the shop. "Take a look. What do you think of my honey?" The shopkeeper smiled at Zhao Yun'er and said, "That's right. It's just that this honey is basically bought by rich people. If I have too much stock, the honey might go bad. If I accept your honey, I will also be taking some risks. I can give you a slightly lower price." Zhao Yun could understand. There weren't many preservatives in ancient times, and things couldn't be left aside forever. "Then tell me the price. I can accept it." I'll definitely sell it. She was currently in need of money. No matter how much she could earn, it was better than not having any money at all. Miss, I'll give you 800 copper coins for these 2 jars of honey. What do you think? This price was actually higher than Zhao Yun'er's expectations. The shop owner would buy it from her and then sell it. In the middle, he would more or less receive some profit. Looking at the shop owner, she realized that he was a shrewd businessman. The price he gave her should be reasonable. After thinking for a while, he replied, "All right, 800 copper coins it is." Okay. The shop owner settled the bill for Zhao Yun'er and told her that if she had more, she could send it directly to the shop. It was considered a long-term business. With 800 copper coins in her hand, Zhao Yun'er was a little excited. This was the first pot of gold she had earned since she came to this world. It would only get better and better in the future. 800 copper coins was not a small amount in the countryside. Pork was only 15 copper coins per catty. Converted to the money of this era, it was equivalent to 800 yuan in the 21st century. Chapter 33. She had to buy more oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and food. She had to be frugal with these 800 copper coins. Zhao Yun'er went to the market, looked at a few rice shops, and picked one with a relatively good price. In ancient times, there were different types of rice, brown rice and polished rice, and the prices were different. Brown rice was cheaper, a caddy of corn cost 5 copper coins, while polished rice cost 8 copper coins. According to the modern market price, food was slightly more expensive. The production of food in ancient times was not as good as in modern times. There were no hybrid rice, and there were no pesticides. The production of food was also much lower. Zhao Yun'er bought 10 caddies of brown rice and polished rice, and also bought 5 caddies of flour. One caddy cost 7 copper coins, and she spent a total of 165 copper coins. The oil tank at home was almost empty, and she bought 5 caddies of rapeseed oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and some white sugar, and she spent a total of 200 copper coins. She spent more than half of the money on a casual purchase. Although Zhao Yun was a little distressed, she had to buy these things, and they were indispensable. She hoped that she and Daodu could live a more refined life. If the money was gone, she could earn more. Zhao Yun'er's basket was gradually filled to the brim. Just as she was about to carry the basket and leave the grocery store, she saw an old man shouting, "Catch the thief, catch the thief, my money bag was stolen." In front of the old man, a young man in his early 20s was holding a money bag, and he was running forward in a panic. The old man looked anxious. The money in the money bag must be very important to him. Zhao Yun had been a police officer for so many years, and when she saw a thief, she habitually went to catch him. She put the basket in the grocery store, and said to the shop owner, "Please help me take care of it, I'll come back to get it later." After saying that, he dashed out. Although Zhao Yun'er's body was a little weak, she was still agile, and her light body shuttled through the crowd, and she was still quite fast. Soon, she caught the thief. Zhao Yun'er grabbed the thief's shoulder, and angrily said to the thief, "You dared to steal money in broad daylight, you're really capable. Hurry up and hand over the money bag, or else I won't be polite to you." When the thief saw that it was a young lady's house, he wasn't afraid at all. He was a man. Could it be that he couldn't beat a woman? "You stinky woman, why do you care so much? If you don't let me go, I won't be polite to you," the thief warned. As he spoke, he began to resist and wanted to break free from Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun had many years of experience in catching thieves, so she was able to easily deal with thieves who wanted to escape from her hands. Seeing that the thief was about to resist, Zhao Yun'er twisted the thief's arm, and the sound of a pig howling could be heard. "Ouch, ouch, ouch. You stinking woman, let go of me," the thief shouted. Zhao Yun'er's lips curled into a faint smile. If I want to let you go, it's very simple. Hurry up and hand over the money bag. I'll hand it over, okay? The thief said. Give it to me. Zhao Yun'er stretched out a hand in front of the thief, indicating that the thief should hand over the money bag to her. The thief pretended to hand it over, but he tried to break free. Chapter 34. My leg is also broken, you woman, you are really ruthless, Zhao Yun'er sneered, trying to play tricks with me, you are still too inexperienced. Zhao Yun'er saying this at her age seemed a little strange. If he fell in the hands of others, it would be fine, but to fall in the hands of a little girl, the thief suddenly felt that he had lost face. But the strange thing was that he, a young lad, could not even resist a little girl. The fight between the two people attracted a lot of people to watch. Seeing a little girl being able to suppress a big man, it was very novel. This thief was called Huang San, because of stealing things. He was also considered to be famous in the city. He often robbed some women and children's things. Being young and impetuous, he ran fast, others could not catch him in a short time, so he could only suffer in silence. Most of the people on the street were doing business. They saw too much, so they did not have the time to care about this kind of thing. Who would have thought that today, a little girl would appear and actually catch Huang San? This little grandson, he usually does a lot of bad things. It's good to catch him, he is so young, he can't do anything well, so he wants to steal things, to be a thief. He should be properly taught a lesson, doing shameful things. Hit him, hit him. More and more people gathered around. All of them were clapping and cheering for Zhao Yun'er, and started to curse Huang San. Miss, I will give it to you, this time I will really give it to you, okay? Let me go. Huang San started to admit defeat and begged for mercy. As he spoke, he obediently took out the money bag and handed it to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun did not intend to let Huang San go just like that. In the 21st century, when she caught a thief, under normal circumstances, she would bring them back to the police station. The old grandpa who had his money bag stolen caught up with them, panting. Seeing Zhao Yun return the money bag to him, he quickly started to thank her. Miss, thank you, you are so kind. You are welcome, old grandpa, I have caught you, how do you want to deal with me? Release him or take him to the authorities? Zhao Yun respected the old man's decision. In ancient times, lawsuits were ignored. After all, she was not the one who had her money stolen. She had to see what the old man thought. If I don't go to jail for a period of time, there will also be people like me who will have their money stolen in the future, the old grandpa said. He was full of a sense of justice and was thinking for the future. Zhao Yun'er nodded. All right. Then he asked the crowd, who has a hemp rope? Can I have one please? Yes, yes, yes. Miss, here you go. As he spoke, someone handed it over to Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Yun'er restrained Huang San's hands and feet. After tying him up, she handed one end of the rope to the old man. Grandpa, I can't accompany you to the yamen. I've tied him up for you, Zhao Yun said. Miss, if there's nothing else, you can go about your business. Thank you so much for what happened today. It's nothing. Grandpa, I'm leaving. Just as Zhao Yun was about to leave, a carriage galloped over. The driver shouted loudly, Get out of the way, quickly get out of the way. The people who were surrounding Zhao Yun'er moved away. Huang San was tied up by her and could not move for a moment. Zhao Yun'er tried to push Huang San away, but in the blink of an eye, the carriage was in front of her. Chapter 35. Because of the sudden braking, the carriage went to the side. The driver nervously asked the person inside the carriage, Young master, are you all right? A cold voice came from inside. I'm fine. The driver let out a sigh of relief and then said to Zhao Yun'er in a displeased voice, You woman, You actually blocked the young master's path. Do you not want your life anymore? Originally, Zhao Yun felt a little guilty for almost causing a car accident, but listening to the coachman's angry scolding, she suddenly became annoyed. The carriage was rampaging on the road. He wasn't afraid of hurting people. It was fine if he didn't care about other people's safety, but now he was scolding people who didn't run away in time. Zhao Yun calmly replied to the driver, "This road doesn't belong to your family, everyone can walk on it." Does the young master think he can be so overbearing? Quickly apologize to me for what you just said. The driver felt this was strange as he looked over Zhao Yun. Standing in front of him was just a country woman, wearing simple clothes. Truly an ignorant country woman. Apologize? Little girl, are you joking? With my family's young master's identity, you should make way for him when you see him? You didn't make way and almost hurt my family's young master. Not sending you to the officials is already being polite to you. Zhao Yun felt this was a bit funny as her brows jumped up. She asked the driver, "Then I want to know, which law of our great Zhou country states that we have to make way for the young master's carriage, otherwise we will be convicted?" The great Zhou country that Zhao Yun had transmigrated to did not exist in the history of her original world. The great Zhou country was now peaceful and prosperous. The emperor also worked hard to govern the country, and the country was governed by law. For every crime in the great Zhou country, there had to be a law before it could be convicted. It was very similar to the laws of the 21st century. The driver didn't know what to say when he was asked by Zhao Yun. Who would have thought that this country woman would not be afraid at all after hearing the young master's name? Rather, her mind was clear and her aura suppressed him. She didn't know if she should be considered ignorant. What? Did I say something wrong? Apologize to that lady. A pleasant male voice came from inside the carriage. His voice was a little hoarse and deep, but it had a hint of masculine charm. Zhao Yun was immediately attracted by the voice. She walked towards the carriage, curious as to what kind of man was sitting in the carriage. "Your Highness." The coachman never thought that his master would actually ask him to apologize to this country bumpkin. It was clearly this woman's fault. "Apologize." The man's voice in the carriage became colder. The coachman felt helpless. He could not disobey the order, so he could only say to Zhao Yun, "Miss, I'm sorry. It's my fault." Zhao Yun was not an aggressive person. Since the other party had apologized, she would not say too much. Instead, he said to the man in the carriage, "Your coachman isn't much, but your master's attitude isn't bad. This lady is a great person who doesn't hold a grudge against a petty person and forgives you." The man in the carriage couldn't help but curl up the corners of his mouth. His smile had a trace of evil charm. Chapter 36. At the moment when the carriage curtain was lifted, Zhao Yun suddenly stared blankly. The man sitting inside was wearing a purple brocade robe and had a noble temperament. His jet black hair was tied up high. His skin was bright and clear, and there was a hint of coldness in his eyes. His eyebrows were like swords, and his body was like a jade tree. His pair of phoenix eyes were awe-inspiring, and at this moment, he was looking at her playfully. Zhao Yun's first reaction was, how could there be such a good-looking man? He was much more handsome than those male stars on TV in the 21st century. More importantly, this man had a noble temperament that ordinary stars didn't have. This kind of noble temperament could only be cultivated by people who were born in a good environment. Zhao Yun was a little dazed for a moment. She was a normal woman, and it was normal for her to like handsome men. Mu Lianfeng looked at the woman in front of him. She was less than 20 years old, and her body was a little thin. Her face was pale, and her clothes were plain. It was obvious that she came from a poor family. However, the woman in front of him was very delicate and pretty. Her black and bright eyes were even more lively. In addition, Zhao Yun's words just now. She was a little different from ordinary girls. Seeing Zhao Yun staring at him, Mu Lianfeng's lips curled up into a smile. Miss, have you seen enough? Zhao Yun just realized that she was actually infatuated with a handsome man, and was even teased by him. She couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. I've seen enough. Zhao Yun said softly. Miss, if you haven't seen enough, you can take a closer look. Zhao Yun glared at Mu Lianfeng. Boring. Originally, she had a good impression of this man, but because of Mu Lianfeng's words, it was all gone. Zhao Yun turned around and handed Huang San to the old man, then turned and left. Mu Lianfeng, who was sitting in the carriage, stroked his chin with interest. Your Highness, don't blame me for talking too much. Look at this country girl. She doesn't know anything and is very rude to you. Why are you so polite? The coachman couldn't help but ask. You talk too much. Mu Lianfeng only threw out these two words. Mu Lianfeng couldn't help but feel a little curious when he heard the discussions around him. He asked the coachman to inquire about what had just happened. Looking at Zhao Yun's weak body walking away, she became even more curious about her because of what Zhao Yun had done. She was clearly a woman, but she was able to do such a brave thing. Mu, let's go, Mu Lianfeng said. All right. The luxurious carriage swayed as it left. Zhao Yun returned to the grocery store and took back her basket. Even the store owner was full of admiration for Zhao Yun's actions just now. He said to Zhao Yun, Miss, you're really a good person. You're really amazing. Zhao Yun smiled and said, It's nothing. When I see thieves, I just don't like them stealing things. At the same time, it was also her professional habit. The store owner nodded, That's true. However, there aren't many people like you who are willing to stand up for others. Miss, you have to be careful. This Huang San also knows a lot of hooligans. I'm afraid that they will find trouble with you in the future. Chapter 37. Alright, Mississippi. Take care. I'll give you a discount the next time you come here. Alright. Zhao Yun carried the basket on her back and walked out of the grocery store. She then went to other places to see if there was anything else she wanted to buy. It was her first time coming to a place like this. She had only seen it on television before. Now that she was here, she felt that it was a novel experience. He glanced left and right. She had not eaten breakfast, walked for a long time, caught a thief, and now carried something on her back. She felt that she was exhausted. When she reached a snack stall, Zhao Yun prepared to buy something to fill her stomach. Boss, how much is this bun? Zhao Yun asked. The boss chuckled and said, Miss, this vegetable bun is 1 copper coin for 2, and 1 meat bun is 1 copper coin for 1. Zhao Yun nodded. After conversion, it was about the same as the prices in the 21st century. Thus, she called out to the boss of the bun shop, Boss, give me 2 vegetable buns and 6 meat buns. All right, the boss chuckled in response. Then, he took a piece of butter paper and wrapped the buns together before handing it to Zhao Yun. Miss, these are the buns you wanted. Take them. When Zhao Yun took them, she handed over 7 copper coins. She only needed to eat 2 vegetable buns. The meat buns were for Daodu and her 2 younger brothers. The ancient era was not like the modern era. There were very few opportunities to eat meat. They might not even be able to eat it once in a few months. For those who were not well off, they could only eat it during the new year. Therefore, meat buns were definitely considered a luxury in the countryside. After eating 2 vegetable buns, Zhao Yun was finally not very hungry. Then, she went to the market and bought some pork. Pork was 15 copper coins per catty. Zhao Yun bought 1 catty and some large bones. Ancient times were different from modern times. Modern people bought bones to make bone soup to nourish their bodies, but ancient people liked to buy pork. The fatter the pork, the better. This was because ancient people used too little oil when cooking. There was a lot of lard in the fatty meat, so they liked the greasy feeling more. In this way, there wasn't much oil or meat on the bones, so the price was only 3 copper coins per catty. As he was walking back, he passed by a shop. There were all kinds of snacks and pastries in the shop. They looked very exquisite and had a faint fragrance. Before coming out, Zhao Yun'er promised to bring some good food for the children to eat. It was not bad to buy these snacks back. After entering the shop and asking around, Zhao Yun'er found that the price of these snacks and pastries was much higher than other things in this era. Under normal circumstances, only the wealthy or well-off families in the city could afford it. A good box of pastries cost a few taels of silver, and even the worst ones cost a few hundred copper coins. After walking around, Zhao Yun'er bought some candies. Children love to eat candies, so the price of these candies was within her acceptable range. 1 catty was 25 copper coins. Zhao Yun'er asked the shop owner to wrap 1 catty in butter paper and bring it back. After buying everything, she returned to Old Man Hu's place. There were not many people there yet. Old Man Hu smiled kindly at Zhao Yun'er. "Girl, you sold these things so quickly?" "Yes. Your basket is full. You must have bought a lot of things." Chapter 38. Okay, girl, quickly sit down and rest. You must be tired from carrying it on your back. Wait a little longer. The others should be done soon. Let's go back together, Papa Hu said. Actually, it was not easy to sell things in the city. Many times, when there was no one in the market, they might not be able to sell all the things they brought over. However, at about 10 o'clock in the morning, they would all have to come back. Papa Hu would only wait until this hour at the latest. It would take time for the carriage to reach the village. It would take an hour for the carriage to wobble. It would be just in time for lunch on the way back. Okay, Zhao Yun nodded in response. As she spoke, she sat in the carriage and put the basket on the back. She wiped the beads of sweat on her forehead and chatted with Papa Hu from time to time. From Father Hu's mouth, Zhao Yun also understood some of the situation in the city. Yang City was rich and prosperous, especially prosperous in business. There were many famous businessmen in the city, all of whom were extremely wealthy. Some were even as wealthy as a country. The most influential family in Yang City was the Helian family. In addition to doing good business in Yang City, the Helian family had shops and businesses in the capital and other cities. Ordinary people could only look up to these rich families. After all, the distance between them and them was still too far. Zhao Yun listened with great interest. What she was most interested in now was making money. Only by making money could she lead a good life with Daodu and live a smooth life in ancient times. After waiting for about an hour, the other women also came back. Many of them brought back things that were not sold. Business is really bad today. Look, there's still half a basket of vegetables that haven't been sold. Me too. I didn't sell many of these silk flowers. With the travel expenses, I can't even cover the capital. Business is like this. It depends on luck. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can sell it in a while. If you're unlucky, you'll lose money. This business is not good. Yes, it's not good. Earning money is never easy. Let's take it slow. If we don't come out and try, we won't be able to earn a single cent. Anyway, we women can't do much farm work at home. Well, it's fine. I'll come again tomorrow. While they were talking, they got on the carriage and saw that Zhao Yun'er had already returned. Moreover, she had bought a lot of things in her basket. Needless to say, Zhao Yun'er must have sold the things she brought today. Only then would she have the money to buy these things. These women couldn't help but feel jealous when they saw this. Some of them asked in a sarcastic tone, "Yun'er, you must have sold a lot of things today. right? Zhao Yun'er replied faintly, it's all right. How is this okay? I think you sold it for a lot of silver, at least a few hundred copper coins. Don't you think so? The other women also responded, that's for sure. The things in this basket add up to a few hundred copper coins. The things sold will definitely be worth more than that. That's really a lot of money. I sold it for so long, but I only sold it for 20 copper coins. Chapter 39. Yun, a girl, just tell us. We are from the same village and should support each other. If you have any good ways to earn money, share it. That's right, Yun, girl. We are also working hard to earn money. If you tell us, we won't have to work so hard in the future. These women chattered as if Zhao Yun'er was a stingy person and would let them down if she didn't tell them what she was selling and how she earned money. Zhao Yun was also very disgusted by these people's righteous attitude. She didn't believe that if they had a good way to earn money, they would tell others so easily. You all want to know? Zhao Yun curled her lips and a trace of slyness flashed across her eyes. Of course. One by one, they began to gather around, wanting to hear what Zhao Yun had to say. They were afraid that if they missed a word, they would lose a chance to make a fortune. I went to the mountains to get this thing. I picked up a little fox and sold the fox skin to the fur shop in the city for a few hundred copper coins. Zhao Yun said. Zhao Yun said this because she was sure that these women wouldn't dare to go into the mountains. Compared to a few hundred copper coins, their lives were definitely more important. Sure enough, when these women heard Zhao Yun'er say this, their faces changed a little. They didn't doubt Zhao Yun'er's words. After all, there wasn't anything good in the village. It must be because she got some treasure from the mountains. This, going up the mountains, is too dangerous. There are so many wild beasts in the mountains. How can we go up there? If we are not careful, we will be swallowed by the wild beasts. It's not like we don't know how many people who went up the mountains were eaten by wild beasts. Going up the mountains is sending us to our deaths. Then I can't go. I don't want to lose my life for a few hundred copper coins. If you go, you might not be so lucky to pick up the fox skin. That's right. Forget it, then I'd better not go. Just thinking about it makes me panic. After these women finished their discussion, they gradually fell silent. No matter how much money he earned, it was useless if he didn't have the life to enjoy it. The corners of Zhao Yun'er's mouth curled up into a smile. These women were finally not surrounding her with questions. Father Hu had been smoking in silence, finally spoke up. He said to the women, how can it be so easy to make money in this world? Don't be jealous of others who earn more and have other thoughts. What Papa Hu said was the truth. When Zhao Yun'er heard this, her impression of Papa Hu increased by a lot. This old man was a decent person. Yes. Father Hu, you're right. It's not easy for us to earn money. Old man Hu sighed and put away his tobacco pipe. He laughed and said, all right, everyone's here, right? If he's here, let's go back. Coming. Let's go. Yes. Old man Hu raised his whip and the ox cart swayed as it drove towards the village. Unknowingly, they reached home after a long journey. Zhao Yun'er carried a heavy basket on her back. When she saw Daodu, Zhao Tianan, and Zhao Tianfu playing together, she was relieved. She shouted to Daodu, mother is back. Chapter 40. Mother. The little guy looked very excited, probably because he had never left her side for such a long time. Zhao Yun'er patted Daodu's little head and said, let's go, Daodu, go inside. Mother brought you delicious food. Uh-huh. Dao nodded heavily and responded with a soft voice. Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu also entered the room. Zhao Yuner took down the basket on her back and took out a few meat buns from it. Come, eat. Eat some meat buns first to fill your stomach. You must be hungry all morning. The meat buns emitted a meaty aroma, and the children immediately looked at them with eager eyes. Second sister, did you buy meat buns? Zhao Tianfu asked. He seemed to be swallowing his saliva into his stomach. Zhao Yuner nodded and said, yes, meat buns. As she spoke, she opened the butter paper and handed it to the children. You can eat it. It's still warm. Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu were a little embarrassed. They had never tasted meat buns before. It was a good thing, and their family was usually willing to buy it back. You too are still embarrassed? Take it. Second sister specially brought it for you to eat. Don't be shy. Zhao Yuner stuffed the meat buns into the hands of the two people. Zhao Tianan and Zhao Tianfu then ate. Dao held the meat buns in his hands, looked up at Zhao Yuner, and asked in a soft and cute voice, Mother, you don't want to eat? Mother has already eaten. Oh. Then Dao can rest assured. Dao smiled sweetly at Zhao Yuner, making her heart soften. Because it was their first time eating meat buns, when they tasted meat, they were very happy and showed a satisfied expression. Mother, the meat buns are delicious. Second sister, the meat buns are delicious. We've never eaten them before. Zhao Yuner's mouth hung a tranquil smile. There's still meat for lunch. This is just to fill your stomachs. Mother, there's still meat for lunch? Daoda's beautiful eyes lit up. Yes. Mother, Daoda likes to eat meat. Daoda is so happy. Then Daoda should eat more for lunch. Zhao Yuner smiled and touched Daoda's little face. This little guy really needed some nourishment. When she earned more money, she would feed Daoda until he was chubbier and cuter. It was better for children to be chubby. Second sister, Tianfu and I should go back at noon. Zhao Tianan said. She had been eating at Zhao Yuner's place for several meals in a row. She felt that it was not very good. What's wrong, Tianan? Can't you eat at second sister's place? No. Second sister, I always eat at your place. I feel bad about it. Haha, what's wrong with that? Why are you always so polite with me? In the future, second sister will often go out. Will I be embarrassed to ask you to help me look after Daodu? Second sister, if you're polite with me, then I won't ask you for help in the future. We're a family, so there's no need to draw such a clear line. Zhao Tianan bit his lower lip. He was convinced by Zhao Yuner. Okay, second sister, then I'll stay and eat. That's right. Not only this time, you can't say such things to me in the future. Zhao Yuner took out the candy from the basket and stuffed some into the children's hands. Then she let them go out to play and come back later. She was going to make lunch. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.